you. So Platteville is done,
Mm-hmm.
and with the construction of a new football facility, are they still in the McLean Center? Does that
They
still
are. Yeah,
exist? I don't.
I love the McLean Center, and I know it's going to
Me
be
too.
redone probably after this season. I know it's a 2-year process yet. Shell is bye-bye. I think they
Gonzo.
started putting the infrastructure in there, so I'm not sure how many more years the McLean and this and maybe one more, but I'm guessing this is going to be it. And yeah, it's a little short. It's only, I think, 80 yards, but a lot of, I mean, it's always nice. And I know the Hudson Center's, I'm sure at some point going to get redone down there in Green Bay, but it's always nice when you can you come back, you watch something and you're like, yeah, I've spent a lot of time, a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, a lot of tears, a lot of ligaments, a lot of cartilage left out on those fields. That's it'll be a little bit bittersweet, but I'm sure what they have planned obviously is going to be awesome. So the world keeps on moving, baby. You just either get on the ride or sit back and let it pass you by. Take that note, Jaybird.
Is that is that Bob Moore who said that? Who was that a Tausch original?
I'm not 100% sure.
Jesse, we want to talk Packers. We want to talk Badgers. Gutey is going to talk this morning. I'm going to head down there to catch that. You guys are going to talk to Evan Cohen.
What are you going to ask him?
Well, I want to ask him about the Irish kicker for one, because I'm writing about him. I'm really intrigued by how a Gaelic footballer becomes a kicker in the National Football League. So I'm intrigued by that. But I'm happy to take requests if you have anything.
Someone's getting a phone call.
If you can you take the video of Tausch's perplexed look on his face? He's got nothing.
Yep.
And we're listening to music. He's got a fun ringtone. I know we want to get to Packers. I will take some Gutey requests if anyone has them. I'm guessing there'll be some in the YouTube comments. There tend to be. But 10 in a row, Jesse. I'm running out of
what's at the top of your Gutey list? You have those little lists that you like doing. Why are you licking your lips like that? Is my other question. You love lists. What's the list what do you got for Gutey today?
I'm not really sure. I was saying to Jesse that it'll come to me. I'll be okay. I appreciate your support though. I definitely need to ask about the Irish kicker who has made the transition from Gaelic football to the NFL. I'm very intrigued by that.
I don't know if you really do. I mean, he's gonna he'll be on the team. He ain't gonna kick this year, right?
So imagine yourself,
yeah,
being the great high school athlete that you were at Auburndale High School.
No. I'm not saying. Hold up a second. I'm not saying don't write the story about him. I don't think you utilize that to get when you have Gutey. Go ahead, talk to the special team coaches, talk to your guys. I don't know if you need to go to Gutey about it, right?
I don't care about the Irish kicker at all.
No, I think it's I think it's a fun story, but to spend time, you get 15 minutes in a Gutey, you're almost done with a Gutinator. Like, what's chewing at you about this roster? Is it Bo Melton?
I've asked a lot of Bo Melton questions. I feel like the Gaelic kicker would be better. So what's chewing at you about this roster?
Some Gaelic kicker from the 80s, man. Like, I think you're hung up on some Gaelic kicker from the 80s that you love the story and you want to use some Irish accents. Yeah, I think all these international guys, I think it's a great story. I think it's a fun storyline to have, but we're getting to be the end of this camp, man. And are you worried about the offense? Do you feel good? Like the Jordan Morgan component to this, and I sent you guys a bunch. I think I may have been, I think we maybe were a little bit early because of what Sheed has done and because Jordan Morgan struggled in a family night.
Mm-hmm.
I am now looking, if you know how Polymarket does these odds, right? They do the odds of who wins and who does this. And, whether it's politics or if it's movies or if it's, they have betting odds. And I would have said 2 weeks ago, Sheed Walker's probably at 80% to be the starting left tackle against the Detroit Lions, maybe even higher.
Mm-hmm.
And then after family night, it was probably closer to 90. Then he has a groin and he opens the door to be pipped. And I think Wally Pipp is walking through that door. Morgan had a really good day on Saturday. I thought he was one of your bright spots.
I agree.
I liked what the big fella did over on the other side, the right tackle.
Anthony Belton.
I think Beltsky. I think it is now flipped where at worst it's 50-50. I think this left tackle spot, if Jordan Morgan holds it down in this scrimmage and plays well in the game, I wouldn't be shocked if he's your starting left tackle against the Detroit Lions. And I would have been shocked 2 weeks ago. Now, I think a lot still stems from how he does. Consistency, you know what you're getting with Sheed. You see the bright future in how this kid moves his feet. The question is, is he going to be consistent enough? Is he going to, be able to take on power? Is he somebody that is going to adapt and figure out how to make sure you win these one-on-ones? That's what you're still trying to figure out. But I thought I saw somebody's stat line, where he played 36 or 37 snaps and didn't allow a pressure or a sniff. That's how you build up that trust, and that's how you put yourself in a position where 2 weeks ago, I didn't think he had a shot. And now I think if you polymarket this bad boy, I would think he might even be the favorite to go and play in left tackle against the Detroit Lions. Am I crazy?
No, I didn't know Polymarket sold ice cream. So I'm curious if there's.
It's a website. Is that not? Is there another site that we could use? That I'm fine going with whatever site, but
we should do Prize Picks on all this stuff.
Yeah, but Prize Picks doesn't do that. That's not what they do. They do daily fantasy. It's a whole
maybe
different
it's time they expand. So look, do you feel like maybe you're swinging from one end of the pendulum to the other now? Because you said you were early on Sheed, and now it feels like now Jordan Morgan has one good game against the Jets,
but Jason,
and now we've kind of swung back the other way.
So yes, but Jason, that's the beauty of preseason football. When you have a guy, and I said this when Gutey and Lafleur said early in the offseason that this was going to be an open competition. What did I say? Going to be tough to unseat Sheed, but you don't think Brian Gutekunst wants his first-round pick to be the starting left tackle if he earned it? Of course he does. And you have to adapt. The preseason for young players, you show flashes, you earn opportunities. And when you're a first-round pick, you earn a bunch of extra opportunities that you don't get when you're a seventh-round pick or an undrafted guy. He has earned more opportunities. So I would bet if I'm Sheed, I'm probably looking at this and saying, I probably need to get my Keister back out there. I know he's battling I think he's got a groin.
Correct.
You're not going to get back out there till you're healthy, but I would bet if you asked him in a private conversation, I think he's probably a little bit more concerned than he was 2 weeks ago. So, there's conversations, well, you trade him, will you do this? No. Sheed, I don't think Sheed should go anywhere, but I do think you can look at the real-time facts of what's happening and say, Jordan Morgan's done a pretty good job, and he's earned the right to have a couple more opportunities. I mean, do you not look at it as you still?
No, totally agree with that.
So if you're betting, and I'm not going to say which market because you pick whatever market you want, farmer's market, are you thinking it's
the
50-50,
farmer's dog,
or do you still think Sheed is the incumbent and has a leg up?
So I think that there are multiple portions to this, including the fact that Sean Ryan did not play well. So if we're going to swing the pendulum based on one game.
At center, he didn't play well. Right?
At center, right, correct, yes, exactly. Yeah. And he talked about that. I wrote about it at channel3000.com. So look, I think I just feel like I would agree that the pendulum has shifted. Okay? Because I was with you on Sheed most likely winning the job. I don't know if that's 75%. I don't know if that's 90%. It does feel like things have kind of gone downhill for him ever since he had to take a lap. Because then the next day he had the groin injury and he's been sidelined.
Don't have big guys run long distance. That's the lesson learned there.
So I'm curious to see where things go from here and when he gets out there. He did not do 11 on 11 yesterday. He was out there for some group individual drills. First he did individual drills, then he did group individual drills. So I think it's a legitimate battle. It's definitely, I'll say this, it's definitely not what last year was.
No,
right? Where
the
Spinksy deal.
Last year was, I don't even know if he got out of I don't even know if they got out of the walkthrough in the Hudson Center and that thing wasn't decided. Right. This year, I thought it was trending Sheed. And listen, man, if Jordan Morgan goes out and struggles, all of that momentum that he has, because I've seen this movie before, Jason. Tony Mall, and I'm not comparing, Tony Mall is a 5th-round pick. He shuts down Sean Merriman on a couple pass rushes, and literally we watch film the next day when he does a little sliding the blackboard down. Tony Mall's starting. Tony Mall wasn't starting anywhere, and all of a sudden he's starting at right guard 2 days later. So it's granted it's a new operation and it's new. I get all that, but first-round picks are different, and Jordan Morgan's going to get many opportunities here to solidify himself and potentially take that left tackle spot. And if you do that, then the Elton Jenkins back injury is even more pertinent, because then you're going to put Monk in. He had a tough night. That's not to say he can't regroup, but who are you going to then put in on at that right guard spot if Sean Ryan has to play center? And nobody wants the case. I don't think Sean Ryan needs to show that he could be the backup center too. I think that will help him, and it'll make the Packers sleep at night better. And what we saw Saturday, it's not fair. This is preseason football for guys that are on the bubble. It's like postseason football. Every snap is over-examined and overanalyzed. So this group, they obviously felt they needed some change. They needed some difference. And wouldn't it be ironic if Josh Myers comes back to be the backup center? Wouldn't that be ironic?
Kind of like that idea. All right, I got to get to Gutey. You need to tell us, because I need to ask him about the Gaelic kicker. You need to tell us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
For long-lasting comfort and reliability, man, it's easy to trust Pella. Each piece specifically constructed for your home, always designed with innovation, rigorously tested for quality and performance, and built to create long-term energy savings. No reason to wait. Order up by August 31st. This month is flying by. 0 interest for up to 60 months. Yep, 5 years of no interest payments. Don't miss out. Get on PellaWI.com today to learn more. Terms and conditions do apply.
I shall return. More Wilde Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. And with Milwaukee making a push for baseball's postseason and the countdown on to the start of the new football season in Green Bay and Madison, bunch of energy and excitement right now all around the state. And speaking of energy, this time of year could also be a great time to discover a new way to power your home. How would you like to start saving money while also helping save the planet? Well, all you have to do is make the switch with Everlight Solar. Our family is one of the many who made the switch to solar over the last several years, and when we met with the team at Everlight Solar, they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more. Schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And he drills it in the air deep into right center field. He's admiring it as it goes back towards the wall, and it is gone. Solo home run for Yelly.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Grassland Butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, a special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and lease a 2026 Honda HR-V LX all-wheel drive for as low as $249 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 12th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in August 12th at 6:40 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
This is Wilde Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
When you tell me I'm a wreck, you say that I'm a mess. How could you expect anything less? You latched onto me, then cried how strong you alone. I told you when you
Wilde and Tausch back with you, but it's Jesse and Tausch as Jason Wilde heads down to Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst's press conference at Lambeau Field. He'll report back with the latest from Titletown coming up.
He wasn't really listening to us, and that frustrates me a little bit. He is dead set on writing this Gaelic kicker story, and he's blinded. Like it's a cute story, and you can do that story. It's great. Tell the story of this young man. But I don't think you're going to ask Gutey about it. Like, he wasn't listening. He didn't listen.
Also, he just showed up. Like, he's practiced, He kicked in the game on Saturday night and then had a close. Yeah. Like, they haven't even really seen him or got to know him yet.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to know him, and then you can, if he's pushing to win a spot, all of a sudden, you have that question with the Gutenator. But, yeah, I don't know. He's just Jason can be a stubborn old mule, as we all know. Gus.
We will see
Gus the donkey.
Yes, like Gus. Yes, your favorite mule. We will see if he asks about anything besides the Gaelic kicker at Gutey's press conference. We'll keep you posted, and of course, Jason will be back here in just a little bit. Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio is scheduled to appear coming up next. I think he thinks Jason hates him because he's probably going to ditch out on a segment to be at Gutey's press conference. So then that's that. Brewers won again last night, Tausch. Yep. 10 in a row for the Crew. 30 games over 500. 74-44. Fastest in franchise history to 30 games over 500. There has never been a better Brewers team in franchise history record-wise at any stage of the season here, especially as they hit these benchmarks in the last couple of weeks, than the 2025 Milwaukee Brewers. Skeens on the mound tonight for the Pirates. Freddie Peralta for the Crew, going for 11 straight tonight. Tausch, Jason caught Brewers fever. Have you?
I haven't had Brewers fever. I've been a fan. And I've told you numerous times, I've been more engaged this season, just trying to find, time to watch some of the game or listen to it. And it's really remarkable. I thought when Levo joined us yesterday and talked about the cosmic part of it with Uke But it's just mainly the way this group is kind of binded together and found different ways to win. I mean, they do a suicide squeeze last night to get a run in. There's different ways. A leadoff home run, you get a lead, you give up a little bit, you fight right back. It's just the scrappiness and what this group, they seem to have all of the pieces, even though there's not like some grand poobah piece. It just feels like a chessboard where one night the knight will get you, then the rook will get you, the bishop will hammer you, occasionally you have the king or the queen, and then you're going to get out pawned to death. Like, that's, to me, the way this Brewer team is going. And everybody's got a role. Sometimes you're a pawn one night. Sometimes you're a bishop. Sometimes you're the killer. And I don't know how else to examine it, but you're now really surprised if things don't work out. And from a team standpoint, I've been on a lot of good teams, and I've been on a couple of really bad teams. And I'm telling you, the psychological part of this, when the 05 season, when we went 4-12, about midway through the season, you can have the strongest minded guys. And we had a lot of guys that were on that team when we were 1-4 a couple of years in a row, and we fought back to win the division to get into the playoffs. So it's not as if we were a bunch of guys that had quit or give in, but there is something about the momentum of a season, and you just start believing good things are going to happen. And it's amazing how important that is. And on the flip side, when you're losing, I can remember the Bears game down in Soldier Field, 98 plays we ran, dominated the football game, and we got beat relatively easily. And it was just, what's going to happen next? Fumble, strip sack, fumble, Urlacher takes it to the house. We get down, we get stuffed in the goal line. You have these, you can start really manifesting seasons. And the Brewers have manifested we're not going to lose. We're going to find different ways to win. And that's what's been so enjoyable so far about this season.
Totally agree. Ton of fun last night. I turned it on in the third inning, right when Matt Arnold was in the booth on TV with Levo and Rock.
One of the most recognized faces in the state.
Sure is, yeah. I almost knew it was
him.
By the way,
what does he look like? Yes,
He's on the Mount Rushmore, yeah. And he's sitting in there, and Yelich hits a home run, and then Ortiz hits a little dribbler that scores a run. They go first to third. Sal Frelick, like it's all different ways on offense that they're scoring runs. They get a single, a stolen base, and then a little double from Lockridge down the line scores. Like, it's just fun the way they manufacture runs, and I think they're playing the game not just the way they should, but the way that it's evolving too. With the banning of the shift a couple of years ago. And like it's a shift in philosophy. And I think other teams are going to start to look at the Brewers and what they're doing and how successful they've been. And they're going to start to emulate what we are doing. And that's awesome.
Yeah, I think Jeff had a great point yesterday where he was kind of just going through, this is what they need to do. This is how this team has done it. Now they're executing it at a higher level, but there is no doubt with some of the rules, and when you're limited with what you can do, everybody has to have a role. And when everybody plays above what their, I guess, projections would be, that's when you can have a special run like this. The question people are having is this sustainable? You would have said a month ago, no. I mean, baseball is a fickle game where you can get cold and things can. The thing that you're hoping for, and I know in the NFL, if you're rolling and you have an undefeated season, you can keep building off it. But teams will say it's not a bad thing to lose a game or two just to kind of resharpen that focus. I don't feel like this team needs that. This team, Levo on the broadcast last night basically was saying this team, it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. They could lose by 10 runs. They shelf it. Big emotional win yesterday. New series. Maybe a letdown. You end up moving Peralta out of it. You put Quintana in there. You're like, And what do? You start fast again. You find a different way to win. And I think that's just really been the beauty of what this team has been able to do.
Before we get to Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, we have some breaking news from Jason Wilde.
Ooh.
Now this is some breaking news.
Jason J. Wilde on Twitter. Brian Gutekunst walks in and says quarterback Jordan Love is having a procedure done on his left thumb, which he injured in the Jets game. Quote, it's a ligament thing. The Packers hope he'll be back at practice next week and ready for the opener against the Lions.
Oh, boy.
A ligament thing, according to Packers GM Brian Gutekunst, for quarterback Jordan Love on his non-throwing hand.
Well, I can't wait for Wilde to ask about that Irish kicker. That's all I can think of.
I think there's suddenly a more significant storyline.
You saw that, and yesterday I was listening to, today I was listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on my way down to Badgers practice, and with the fact that Flea and Nate and Matt Lafleur are all gathered around Jordan Love after practice made me a little bit more concerned than maybe usual. But there's obviously you don't want to have this happen. Time-wise, it's best, and the fact that it's non-throwing hand is important. But, man, you just would love to see, and you'd love to see Jordan be able to stay healthy and really let it rip. This will be something you got to take care of it. I would be surprised if he is going to play I don't think you're going to see him again until Detroit, because you want to give this thing as much time as you can, because even though it's his offhand and you can still throw the football, play action fakes, taking snaps under center, there's a lot of moving parts that go into having both hands when you're playing quarterback. So this news sucks, but it could be a lot worse.
We'll talk more about it when Jason rejoins us coming up here in just a little bit. Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio is scheduled to appear coming up next. Not sure if this will have any impact in the regular season, Tausch, but if it does, it'll be something you want to keep an eye on when you're making your prize pick selections come week one.
Indeed. Preseason football is underway. Don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play, more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. There's season-long stuff. I know last year I made the mistake of going Joe Burrow less. That wasn't good. You can pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. You get it right, you can cash in with up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks, the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including Wisconsin, California, Texas. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure, and they offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Let's say somebody has a thumb, gets injured. You can still play that selection. Prize Picks, the best way to win real money. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 30 seconds and turn those beautiful sports opinions of yours into real money all season long on Prize Pick. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Jason Wilde continues at Brian Gutekunst's press conference. He'll report back on what he learns when he rejoins the show. Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
This is an enormous season
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And it's not just for Jordan Love.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right, and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Get your team ready and spend your fall evenings with MSCR on the basketball and volleyball courts. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's adult fall volleyball and basketball leagues is now open. Men's, women's, and all gender leagues are forming now for play beginning in early October at locations all around Madison. MSCR Sports Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
Dear Brewers fans, where do you find the best views and the most electrifying baseball action American Family Field has to offer? The answer is Toyota Territory, located in right field. This Grand Slam experience covers all the bases and gives fans in the stands an exclusive live look at our home run hitter, the Toyota Land Cruiser. Creating a lasting legacy, the Toyota Land Cruiser is seasoned to perform like your Milwaukee Brewers. Add Toyota to your lineup today. Now batting, Toyota.
This is our crew.
A drive, left center, deep. See you later. Caleb Durbin, turn out the lights.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
I'm throwing caution. What's it gonna be? Tonight the winds of change are blowing wild and free. If I don't get out of this town, I just might be the one who finally burns it down. I'm throwing caution.
Wilde Tausch back with you. Jesse and Tausch for the moment. Jason Wilde attending Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst's press conference where he just shared that Jordan Love has a, quote, ligament thing, undergoing a procedure on his left thumb, injured it against the Jets in the preseason opener on Saturday night. The Packers hope he'll be back at practice next week, ready for the opener against the Lions. We'll get the reactions of Evan Cohen, host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, here in a moment. Tausch, you moved.
Yeah, we're outside, baby, and I'm trying to find a spot to put.
You're in Section T, which is very appropriate. Old T at Camp Randall Stadium.
Old T in Section T. Yeah, trying to figure it out. But yeah, they moved outside, which is awesome because it's a lot cooler out here, but a lot of moving parts this morning, old boy.
I'd say so. And with that, we bring in UW-Madison alum Evan Cohen to the program, host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. Evan, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay, guys. What fascinating developments here. Jordan Love injury, Jason covering it, Jesse doing everything, Tausch at Camp Randall, me driving in a car in New York City. Wilde and Tausch, really a well-oiled machine Jesse, can I
just wait a second. Are you? Yeah. Evan, we are a well-oiled machine. Who else could pull this off?
I didn't say otherwise. I'm saying you're a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I felt like there was sarcasm there, though.
Yeah, you're right.
There was.
Okay.
Yeah, there was. Okay.
All right. Let me, Jesse, if I may, because I'm fascinated about this, can I start peppering you guys with questions about this Jordan Love situation?
Absolutely, Evan. The floor is yours.
Pepper away.
Okay, I think this is a good way of doing this, actually. Okay. This year, everyone discussed it needs to be a perfect year from Jordan Love, health-wise, start to finish, give him the best opportunity to be the great quarterback the Packers and the Packers fans want him to be. Despite, Tausch, them saying we'll be back week 1, do you look at what this news is today as a setback for Jordan Love?
Absolutely. How do you not? And I was just saying earlier, obviously it's better that it happened now, and it's better that it's his non-throwing hand. But let's not just poo-poo this and say, oh, it's over. Do I think he's going to be back and playing against the Detroit Lions? Yes. Do I think he'll be back next week? You're going to be overly, as Mike McCarthy would say, you're going to err on the high side of caution here and make sure, because for as much as, yes, you can throw the football, Evan, you as a former quarterback know this better than we do.
Right.
Taking snaps and doing ball fakes and handing the football off, and like there is a lot of moving parts. And we saw this a little bit with Rodgers after he busted his thumb out in London. You went almost exclusively shotgun. And what's the thing we've been talking about all offseason is play action pass, getting guys open earlier, better, under center, and how important that piece to this run game is. Those are all the things that go into my mind when I saw Jason tweet that out. There is a lot of other things. So everything about last year, Jordan Love had a good season, but it was inconsistent. Everything about it was, well, he was injured. And then you're hoping, all right, well, he's fresh, he's healthy this year, and now all of that goes out the window. And that's the unfortunate part of that, because when is he going to be 100% healthy? When you're dealing with these things, they nag. And when you're nagging on it, do you ever feel back to being 100%? At some point, but it's not going to be. And especially as we said earlier, these first 2 games are so important from a psychological standpoint. I don't know how you don't hear what Brian Gutekunst said today and have a very high level of concern about where Jordan Love can be when he's going to need to be he's going to need to be the Jordan Love that we need him to be.
Okay, so a couple of follow-ups on there, and I appreciate you mentioning me as a quarterback, Tausch. So a couple of follow-ups would be this. Are you now ready to say it will not be a 100% healthy season for Jordan Love?
Yeah. How are you going to say that? Because let's say, again, all I know is it's a ligament. That's what Brian Gutekunst said. I can only go off of what he said. I don't think you're going to be 100% when you're going to be immobilized. Now, he's got 3 weeks before the opener. So if he's at 80%, that's great with his non-throwing hand, but that's not 100%. So you want to go into a season, and why you bubble wrap players and you don't play them in the preseason is because you want them to be as fresh and healthy as they possibly can be to open the season. I don't know how we can sit here and say that Jordan Love will be able to do that after he just had some type of surgical procedure today or whenever it was to get this thing fixed. I think that's a big stretch to ask him to be 100% in 3 weeks.
So just for context for the conversation here, as we're joined by Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, I'm getting more information here from all the different beat writers, including Jason, who are at Brian Gutekunst's press conference right now. Gutey sounding adamant, it sounds like, according to some of the writers here that are tweeting that Jordan Love will be ready for week 1 against the Lions.
Yeah.
They're saying he hit his hand on a helmet against the
Those
Jets.
Those are the worst.
And he wanted to see.
Evco, you know about that.
Tausch. No. That's how it's not a joke. That's how I busted my finger on my throwing hand, and I had to sit out games because I smashed it into a helmet and broke it in one spot and dislocated it in another spot of the same finger on my throwing hand.
Yikes.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, I know your history, and I knew that. That's why I brought it up.
So they wanted to see how it felt for Jordan Love at practice yesterday, decided to get it fixed to avoid any future issues. That's what we're seeing from Rob Demovsky, Matt Schneidman, Jason, everybody there.
So, Jesse and Tausch, so then, again, I want to just also set up one thing. I am fortunate enough to join you guys every single week. I would say almost every single week this offseason, we've talked in some way, shape, or form about Jordan Love expectations. How should we view him? Where should he rank? Is he worth the contract? Comparisons to Rodgers, Lafleur, Gutey, all of that stuff. As we sit here today, I think back to last week. Last week, we discussed the idea, Tausch, of how valuable it could be if he masters playing under center, right? Yes. And with the back to the defense, and how Rodgers was so unbelievable at that. And to your point you just made, can he play under center relatively full-time if his left thumb is somewhat busted?
I'll say this. I can't say no for certain, but I would think what you're going to try and do is adjust as much as you can. Just like if a quarterback has a calf, like Rodgers did in 2014, you go more pistol because it takes some strain and stress off of your quarterback. I don't know the degree of what his injury is, but what I do know is when you're taking snaps, that thing pops back there. There's a lot of times you worry about fingers and thumbs because you have to pop that ball. And is it going to be more likely? I guess that's the way I'll put it. Is it more likely that he's going to want to do more shotgun because it will alleviate some of the pain and stress off of that thumb? My answer would be yes. Does that mean it'll be exclusive? Probably not, but you'll have to see. And if he reacts well, and again, 3 weeks is a long time. You're going to be getting stim and you're going to be doing icing. You're going to be, I'm guessing they will manage this thing incredibly well, and maybe that'll give you a chance. But the thing you're not wanting to have happen is any setback. You don't want to be in week 5 seeing him out in a splint battling this thumb. You want this to get knocked out as quick as possible. So the ideal answer would be you're going to probably try and give him as much time as you can while still getting out there and playing. But let's be honest, snapping the football, handing the football off, those are pretty pedestrian things. You're going to still have to stand in that pocket. And I can assure you, when people find out that he's got this thumb, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I want as many hands and bodies around him in the pocket to see, because the natural instinct is going to be, I don't want to do that again. And that's something that Jordan's going to have to overcome too.
It is Wilde Tausch here on ESPN Wisconsin.
I love when he does
Wilde
this.
At the Gutey press conference. Jesse back in the studios. And Tausch, Camp Randall, Evan Cohen in for Evan Cohen right now. And giving you the latest updates, Adam Schefter has tweeted Packers quarterback Jordan Love, who is undergoing procedure on a ligament issue with his left thumb, suffered in the opener. A preseason opener. Team is hopeful Love can return to practice next week, and the Packers expect him to be ready for the regular season opener. Tausch.
Sure.
An average or below average game for Jordan Love, week 1, just for argument's sake. Is it fair for Jason Wilde and Rob Demovsky post-game to say, Coach Lafleur, was Jordan's thumb bothering him? Is that why he had an average game today?
You can definitely ask that, and you know the answer you're going to get is doesn't matter. Like, you can have all of those questions, and that will be a written-in excuse and a reason if that is the case. But I'll tell you this, when Brett Favre busted his thumb up, you're expected to play at a high level. And I think one of the unwritten storylines of that season when Green Bay got beat over in London and Rodgers busted his thumb up is he played with a busted thumb. He didn't have a great second half of the season. But did anybody care and even bring up the fact that he had a busted thumb? It was a side note, but it's you go out there and play, you're expected to play at a high level. So if Jordan goes out there, he's going to get some points for gutting it out, but he's got to find a way to win that game and play at a high enough level to do that. I don't think anybody would expect him, if he misses some practice time and things, I don't think anybody would expect him to be lights out, but if he's going to go out there and play, he's going to have to play at a certain level.
You know, backup quarterbacks in the NFL, if you don't have a great starter, are always fans' favorite players. The Packers have a good starter, and yet the backup quarterback earned the right last year to be a fan favorite. Your thoughts, Tausch, heading into this, knowing Malik Willis is going to need to develop Matthew Golden now as a wide receiver. And, by the way, the decision-making by the team to not sell high on, hey, maybe we found a starter, maybe we should go trade him somewhere because we don't need a starter. Your thoughts on Malik Willis now as the replacement?
I think it proved to be vital last year that Malik Willis was picked up and that he played at that level. And he is, my guess, night and day better than he was last year because he actually now knows the offense and the staff understands it. I think the big question you're not asking here, Evan, is do you now change your approach with Malik Willis in the preseason? Because there's a chance, and I know everybody is Pollyannish about Jordan Love being ready to play, and I do think he will be able to play against Detroit, but you have to at least think more diligently about the fact that Malik Willis could be that quarterback against Detroit, and then how much do you prep him in this preseason, or do you now, after seeing a quarterback get hurt, bubble wrap him even more? Like, because
Tausch, that's a good question. Let me ask you a follow-up then.
Well, why don't you answer it and then follow up?
Well, no, my follow-up's better than the original question.
But I don't even you didn't even get the question answered, though, that I asked. That was such a good question.
You'll like this one. Tausch, you'll like this
go
one.
ahead. All right, go ahead.
Did the Packers make a mistake playing Jordan Love in the preseason?
So here's the deal. And this is not fair, and life ain't fair. And we find that in sports more than almost anywhere else. If you end up with your player being injured and he's unable to play, the answer is yes. That's just how this goes. And you know that going in.
You have to play the results on this.
This is a results business. And I know, Nick Saban, everybody says process. I had no problem with him playing, but I also said when you play him, you're dealing with those risks. And if a player gets hurt in a preseason game, you're going to always be questioning, should I have done that? And if you believe in the value of preseason and that it's important to get guys going, you live with you live with that. But when your starting quarterback has a thumb injury and all of a sudden might be definitely going to be missing some practice time and maybe missing into the regular season, the results would tell you that probably wasn't the wisest move.
So any way we look at this, Tausch and Jesse, you have to look at it almost as if whatever the reason is, which in this case is Jordan Love playing a preseason game, hurting his left thumb, needing surgery today, likely back for week 1. But any way you cut it, everything Packers fans wished for going into the season, which was a 100% healthy Jordan Love to truly gauge what you have, what level you have at that quarterback, right? We know it's B+ at worst. But whatever level and grade you have at the quarterback, you get a full look at it. We're now a little bit behind getting that full, clean look at it because he's already hurt.
No, I mean, I think if you want to judge that off of a full season of 17 games, you can make that blanket statement. But if this surgery goes well, there's no reason he can't be fully healthy by the middle to end of September. Now, again, until we get more details on what it is with his thumb, the fact that it's his left thumb, again, you're not going to get I think what you're asking here is, do you get another pass for Jordan Love if he struggles? The answer is no. You have to, you're going to heal and you're going to get that opportunity just because you're not 100%, because I don't know any quarterbacks that go through a full season 100% health. Obviously, you'd prefer to start the season and then you're going to have some negative, whether it's a rib or an ankle or something else. All of that, as much as you get hit as a quarterback, you're going to deal with that stuff. So, no, I don't think any Packer fan should be sitting here and saying the sky is falling, woe is me. The fact that this happened is a setback, no doubt. But that doesn't mean that there's going to be any, excuses being made, because I'm certain nobody over at 1265 will do that. And I know Jordan Love and that offensive staff is not going to say, the thumb set us back the whole season. Nobody's going to care. You better get it right. And I think that's why they had the surgery now to alleviate that. So this isn't something that lingers into, middle to end of September.
And by the way, I think it also needs to be discussed. thank God Jason's turf toe didn't pop up today, because what would the doctor do? The Jordan Love surgery or Jason's turf toe?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really fair question. And judging by what we saw last week, it would have been the turf toe. So thank God Jason didn't coincide within Jordan Love's. It kind of did with Jaden Reed. And Jason, I think, maybe won that battle. But Jason, what a warrior. He of practice for 2 weeks. He came back early. So there's hope. Jordan Love, not sure if he's as tough as Jason Wilde. We don't know. Jason's 30 years on the beat, and that was his first practice missed. Jordan Love, if it was a 1 or 2 week, he'll be back. And as he was last year, again, you look at players' track record on injury history. Jordan was supposed to be out, I think, 6 to 8 weeks last year. I think he ended up missing 2 or 3. So he's still young. I think all of this conversation, I think, is good, but I don't think there's any need to be like Panic City, but there's definitely more concern after we heard from Brian Gutekunst today than there was any time out throughout this offseason.
Again, the story here, Jordan Love and Brian Gutekunst at the podium. That's where Jason is right now at Lambeau Field. Jordan Love undergoing a procedure on his non-throwing hand. He injured it, hitting a helmet of a Jets player on his final play of the preseason game on Saturday night. The hope is that, according to Gutekunst, that Jordan Love will be able to practice in a limited fashion the week of the Seattle preseason game. That's the final preseason game at the end of August. And then he'll be good to go for week 1 against the Lions. So that is the hope, according to Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst. We're joined by Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. Jason did have a question for Gutey at the podium. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Evan, anything else that you want to share as you hear this news and what this means from your national perspective on Jordan Love and the Packers heading into this season?
Yeah, I think, Jesse, it's just I wanted 17 games of sample size. I think I'm going to have 17 games of sample size, but based on everything Tausch is saying is I have to at least open my mind to maybe it's max 16. I assume he'll play, right? But how would we know? And if any part of the original game plan that the Packers presented this year to Jordan Love of here's what we're going to do for you to be great, for us to be great, if there were 10 things that they presented to him going into this season, and now as a result of this, only 9 can be accomplished, to Tausch's point, how can you not look at this as a setback?
I was really looking forward to the UW-Madison alum getting the insights of the Badgers color commentator at practice during this appearance, but obviously some more prominent things came up here.
I mean, Jesse, if I may say so myself, and I think we did a hell of a job here. I mean, the grilling Tausch like this on actual Packers news, it's tremendous.
And how's
Tausch,
Billy?
so what did you think? Let's review.
How's Billy
Edwards,
Tausch?
Go ahead.
Really good job by Evan today. I thought Evan was one of your best appearances yet. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Evan.
you're more and more.
We'll be okay with it. I didn't make fun of you.
You're more and more like Jason Wilde than I ever thought. You love to make sure you get those attaboys, which I get. Attaboy, Evan. Attaboy.
Wow. Very humble, Mark Tauscher. Just ask him.
Thank you, Evan.
See you guys.
Evan Cohen on Sportsmanlike weekday mornings on ESPN Radio, along with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman. Breaking news edition on a 2-camp Tuesday of Wilde and Tausch. Jordan Love undergoing a procedure on his left thumb, expected to be good to go for week 1 against the Lions. Will not play this week against the Colts. Questionable if he'll practice for the final preseason game against the Seahawks, which would include a joint practice in Green Bay against the Seahawks that week. We'll talk plenty more about it. Matt Lafleur at the podium now. Jason's in attendance at Lambeau Field at that press conference. We'll hear what he asked Brian Gutekunst. All that straight ahead. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. A return for RBU, Wisconsin's 2025 running back room featuring a wide variety of talent. Veteran Cade Yakimelli primed for a good season. Tack on the young pair of Dylan Jones and Darian Dupree, two four-star recruits out of high school. Jones on the room's versatility.
I really say I'm excited because we all can do something special. You know, I'm good between the tackles. Cade do it all. Didi can do it all. And then I got to put Gid in there. He downhill, physical back, and that's something Coach Grant loves.
Let the kickoff countdown roll on. Wisconsin hosts Miami of Ohio Thursday, August 28th.
For long-lasting comfort and reliability, our craftsmen make it easy to trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 5 years at PellaWI.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Electric bills are out of control, but with federal incentives, you can go solar with zero upfront cost and start saving hundreds a month. Badgerland Exteriors and Solar is a local and family-owned company, and they make the switch to solar simple. No pressure, no hassle, just honest.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Wilde Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Hold on, I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone. I don't wanna move on. I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingertips a little bit by a little bit. I didn't know the love of you was the happiest I've ever been. So I'm just trying to hold on. Hold on, I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone.
So did I miss anything while I was gone? Wilde and Tausch in the recesses of Camp Randall Stadium.
Never really looked at that side of things before until today.
No. I hope that's not asbestos. Jordan Love injured his left thumb in the final play of Saturday's preseason game against the New York Jets. As if that performance and that night could not have gone any worse, he has ligament damage in his left non-throwing thumb. He could be in surgery right now. The procedure, as Gutey called it, was scheduled for this morning. Matt Lafleur indicating it might be going on as we speak. They are hopeful he will be able to come back to practice next week and figure out exactly how to function properly. But this is, I understand I'm a helicopter beat writer, Tausch, but when he got sacked on the final snap that he played on Saturday night, apparently that's when this occurred. And I asked Gutey about Ted Thompson and his belief in bubble wrap in the preseason. Here's how that exchange went moments ago.
I don't know, were you in Pittsburgh in 15 when Jordy tore his ACL against the Steelers?
I was not there, no.
I keep hearing Ted's voice saying bubble wrap, right?
Yeah.
How do you wait? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that is the risk of playing the guys that matter so much in games that don't count. How philosophically, how are you going to weigh this?
Yeah, it's a tough balance, but at the same time, the goals we're trying to accomplish require work, right? And you got to play. I think every team's a little bit different in that regard, but I know this particular team, in my opinion, needs to play together. So the more reps we can get, I think the better. Again, I think injuries are going to happen. That's part of this, and we have to be able to adjust and still move forward, and we will. But whenever guys miss time, it's never positive. But it's part of the game, and we're all used to it. And other guys, it creates opportunities for other guys. And when that happens, particularly in the preseason, I think sometimes that's nice to see because a guy will step into a role where maybe he's going against guys he doesn't usually go against, and that's helpful for evaluation. It's I stood next to Ted a long time where, when there was a chance of lightning for that first game, I had him in my head. He's like, oh, maybe they'll cancel it. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what he would have been thinking, and. I'm excited for our guys to have a chance Thursday and Saturday to kind of rebound from last week's performance.
All right, Tausch, help me understand how you move forward. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I worry about, and I would be a bad GM because I would bubble wrap everyone. Tell me how I'm supposed to look at this.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad news. I don't think there's any way around it. And with Evan, as he was peppering me with questions, it's a setback, but if you're looking at it timing-wise, what is that?
Now Jason's getting a phone call, it would appear.
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say, what is that?
Yeah,
I think the timing of it is as good as you could probably hope, and the fact that it's his non-throwing thumb is a plus, but it sucks. And the question was, does this mean it was a mistake? A mistake to play Jordan Love, and, Gutey just said guys have to play, you have to get out there, and that's all true. But this is a results business, and it's easy from the cheap seats, Billy, for us to sit here and say, you shouldn't have done it. And the bottom line is when you have an injury like that, it's going to affect your future decision making. I feel fairly confident in that. And, unfortunately, this is the scenario, but you do think 3 weeks before the opener, 3 and some change, you feel pretty good that he'll be able to be able to play. But the question is, will he be able to take snaps? Will he be able to hand the football off? Will you have to go shotgun more than under center? Like, there's a lot of other things that are going to be at play, but this isn't some death knell to the season, but it certainly is a setback and a negative that you didn't want to have to deal with, but you do. And, teams, Barry Alvarez used to always say, you don't know what the adversity is going to be, but there's going to be some that hit. If this is the worst thing that happens this season, I think the Packers will be fine. But the thing you worry about and why I think it's good you go after this, you don't want this thing to linger.
and injuries linger in the NFL. And so now I would bet, and I said this earlier too, I don't know Detroit's defensive coordinator yet. I don't know Washington's, but I can assure you they're going to want bodies around Jordan Love to see how he's going to stand in the pocket, because when you get a thumb and you have those things happen, mentally you have to overcome that. That's going to be something he's going to be dealing with as he does return back to play. So it just sucks. It's an unfortunate deal, but it happens in football, and now you have to overcome it.
All right, one of the questions I asked Matt Lafleur was, how do you hit the ground running offensively now when you're going to have Jordan Love not only missing time, but then what are his limitations going to be once he does return to practice? You don't have Dontavion Wicks out there for the last 2 weeks. You don't have Jaden Reed out there. You don't have Christian Watson out there. I want to get into that to start the 10 o'clock hour. We'll talk about that because this offense obviously needs to be hitting the ground running. They have 2 tough games out of the gate against 2 NFC contenders. We'll talk about that after Tausch talks about Kohler Services.
Yes, and if you're looking for a beautiful new bath or shower remodel, Kohler Services is the place to go. This month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months, and you get a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. My new friend Chris from Oostburg, this old Flying Dutchman, it's one of their skilled installers who demos your existing bath or shower, removes it, and will dispose of it before installing your brand new dream shower. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
We'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour in 2 minutes. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Breaking news on ESPN Madison brought to you by the Metro family of auto dealerships. General Manager Brian Gutekunst meeting with the media in Green Bay this morning, sharing that Packers quarterback Jordan Love is undergoing a procedure on his left thumb. That's his non-throwing hand. He injured it during the preseason opener against the Jets on Saturday night, hitting the helmet of an opponent. It's a ligament thing, according to the Packers general manager. And the hope is that Love will be back at practice next week before the Seahawks preseason finale, and that he'll be good to go for the Week 1 opener against the Detroit Lions. Reactions continuing throughout the morning on Wilde and Tausch here on 100.5 ESPN. It's a 2-camp Tuesday with Jason Wilde up in Green Bay as the Packers get set to return to training camp practice in just a short while up in Titletown, while Mark Tauscher hosts the show from Camp Randall Stadium, where the Wisconsin Badgers football team prepares and undergoes practice just a couple of weeks away from their season opener against Miami, Ohio on Thursday night, August 28th.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch. begins now. Tausch live at Badgers practice at Camp Randall. Packers practice starting in a little while. All right, Tausch. I hold on.
Hold on.
I asked Lafleur this. That's a great question, which was nice. Not a great answer, though.
That's a great question, Jason.
Well, then it ain't a great question. You don't get a great answer, not a great question.
Right.
You know that.
As I would tell Matt, it's not about the question; it's about the answer. But I don't think he knows the answer right now, and that is, you're opening with the Lions, then you've got the Commanders. You want your offense to hit the ground running, and you got to try and do it now with your quarterback being in some way, shape, or form limited in practice. As his non-throwing thumb heals, and you've had a bunch of wide receivers miss a bunch of time already. Are walkthroughs and jog-throughs and mental reps sufficient? Because the old saying in the NFL is the defense is usually ahead of the offense to begin with. How do you view what the Packers are going to be up against offensively, getting things started once the regular season arrives, because of this injury and the other injuries they also have at skill positions?
Well, so I think, and I told Evan this too when he was filling in for you, this is a multi-layered problem. You brought up a bunch of the questions that I think all of us have in dealing with Jordan's comeback, but now you're also looking at it. You're not going to run the same stuff if you have Malik Willis. So how much time are you going to spend with Malik on Detroit? Because just so everybody knows, you get through a couple weeks of training camp, and about 10 days out, maybe even a little bit more, you start stealing a half a practice or a morning walkthrough, and you're installing for the Detroit Lions. They're going to start sprinkling that in. And so as I asked during the last segment, how much now are you going to play Malik? Because on the plus side, I said this all offseason, I don't know if you feel better about a backup quarterback situation than you ever have in Green Bay. Like this is you're in a great spot. You have a guy that you can win games with. So you feel good about that, but then you just saw your quarterback get hurt. How much are you going to play Malik in these next 2 preseason games? Because the offense still needs to work. The line needs to work. You're in a real conundrum here as far as how you're approaching it. So what it does is coaches like stability and they like to have certainty. This injury gives you none of that. So there's a lot of questions. I think the saving grace on this is you do feel like Jordan will be able to play. Is it going to be semi-limited as far as can you do a bunch of under center stuff and, long play actions, and the stretch play, some of those things? That's a question we don't know yet. But the other question is, well, how much are you going to play Malik moving forward? Because there is no doubt in my mind that the Green Bay Packers feel really good about having Malik Willis as their quarterback. Shoot, there were some fans last year that were saying, oh, boy, you win games with Malik. I am not in that camp, but there were fans that said that. Malik Willis can win you games in this league. So then you have to look at, well, how much are we going to push for Jordan to be back, and we want him to be healthy? There are a ton of variables that this scenario this morning that Brian Gutekunst told you brings into play that you don't really want to be dealing with at this point.
So you played with Favre when he had a broken thumb on his throwing hand. Rodgers had a broken thumb on his throwing hand in 2022, and I'd like to point out that Favre was the ultimate tough guy and the ultimate Iron Man, and in 2022, people just thought Rodgers sucked and didn't give him the same benefit of the doubt. As a member of the offense, like, for example, do you just feel a greater sense of responsibility? Not that you're not trying all the time, but now we have to ratchet up our protection even further when our guy is dealing with this type of injury. Like, how does it affect not just morale, but actual functionality of the offense, because you're trying to protect your guy?
I don't think it's as much as you'd think. I mean, we have a job to do, and that's why, well, what about this quarterback? Well, obviously, if a quarterback has a different skill set, I think Malik Willis has a different skill set. where you're going to do more runs with the quarterback, and that's more where you're concerned and you start focusing on what that looks like. But am I sitting there saying, oh, boy, I better really protect now because
Right.
Jordan Love's got – no. I mean, if you're thinking that way, you're a loser and you need to get out the league. Like, that's just not how you think. You always are thinking, I want to protect and I want to hold. Now, is there some things where you can scheme and maybe get the ball out quicker and do some other – absolutely. That's more, I think, on a play caller standpoint than it is, oh, boys, you guys better bow up and do this. No, if you're not doing that already, you're probably not long for this league.
Well, we will continue to monitor this.
What do you think? What do you think's going to happen here? Do you think they're going to now? How do you approach this with Malik? You got to play him, right?
It's a great question, Tausch. And let's talk more about that because I'm glad you brought it up because I don't. What do you want me to say? I mean, I didn't want Jordan Love out there. Now you have to protect yourself, but your quarterback needs the work. Right? I mean, you don't get better at playing football without playing football. So how much risk now are you willing to take that you're one more injury away from having Sean Clifford having to play or Taylor Elgersma, the Canadian import? I don't know the answer to that. We'll get into that coming up.
Hey, what answer did you get on that Irish kicker? Did you end up getting all the details on it?
I did get the details.
You did not.
Yeah,
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
can't wait for this article. It's going to be great.
I will explain why there was time for that question.
Who was that guy you talked to instead of Rodgers a couple of years ago?
Rudy Ford.
Yeah, this is Rudy Ford all over again.
No. Rudy Ford, no. Don't. Yeah, that's comparing. No, that is not a fair comp. So no, I can't.
That's
give you
offensive
that,
to Rudy Ford.
I'm going to tell you this. I know Evco brought this up. We are just blessed and fortunate that your turf toe wasn't this week instead of last week, because you imagine all of a sudden you're getting treatment on that toe and we don't know what's going on with Jordan. Lafleur comes down and it's like, what's up with Jordan? I don't know. Wilde's booted up in his turf toe. Doc's busy. We'll get to you. Let's see. We'll get you something by tomorrow. So thank you, Jason, for having that turf toe incident about a week ago, not today.
Anything for the team, buddy. And that's the approach at Associated Bank as well. The best customer service in the industry. They've got the awards to prove it. And whether it's early pay, whether it's credit monitoring, whether it's fraud protection, or if it's just having a checking account with your favorite team, the Packers, the Brewers, or the Badgers, Associated Bank has you covered. So go to associatedbank.com to find out more. We'll talk more about what the Packers need to do moving forward with Malik Willis in the short term and then getting Jordan Love and the offense ready for September 7th against the Detroit Lions. As we roll on, more Wilde Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933. which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Summer is here, and your taste buds deserve the best. Carbless is perfect for the pool, the lake, or hanging out by the fire. Full of flavor with 0 sugars, only 100 calories, and made with premium spirits. Don't just settle for something overly carbonated and those flavorless seltzers. Carbless has full flavor with every sip, not just a hint. So when you're ready to take a drink and ready to chill, Carbless is clean, crisp, and won't leave you feeling bloated. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com.
There's lots to see and do at the Dodge County Fair. Fun for me and you. There's good times in the air.
Get ready for Dodge County's biggest event this summer, the Dodge County Fair, happening August 13th through the 17th. 5 days of nonstop action with Badger State tractor pulls, demo derbies, and live music from Diamond Rio, Core Family for pig, duck, and goat races, Nick's Kids Show, the Ready Go Dog Show, incredible exhibits, mouth-watering fair food, and much more. Grab season tickets now, just $35. Available at the fair office, Piggly Wiggly in Beaver Dam and Juneau, the market at Beaver Dam, Leroy Meats, most Dodge County banks, or online at DodgeCountyFairgrounds.com. Don't miss the fun. The Dodge County Fair, August 13th through the 17th.
Come on, everyone, to the Dodge County Fair.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's National Park of Speed, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best racers since 1955. Camp on site all weekend, free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. GT World Challenge America is up next August 15th through the 17th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This is Wilde Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Tausch asks a really good question, which is, now that Jordan Love,
how about that Gaelic kicker?
All right, let me just clarify something. There are times in press conferences where it feels like the press conference is going to end because no one is asking any questions. So I waited for that moment, and then I brought up the Gaelic kicker. Because I wanted to make sure that, especially with such colossal breaking news, we were not going to waste time on a guy who will not be kicking for the Packers this season. And so I did. I was patient. We got to Christian Watson, who will be chomping at the bit after 4 games, but Brian Gutekunst, another interesting tidbit when he talked today, basically indicating, yeah, it's possible, but there's a timeline specific to ACLs, and even though he's ahead of schedule, they're not going to deviate from that, so that's worth monitoring. What?
I can't say a ton. Some slop. A little sloppy today. That's all I'll say. Continue.
Oh, the football that you're watching.
Yeah.
Watson
no,
thing.
I'm not.
Sorry.
I'm not getting after you about Watson. I still think he'll be back by. I mean, what is the 6-week pup? Is 6 weeks?
No, 4. You got his first 4 games minimum.
Oh yeah, Halloween is what, week 8?
They've got a bye in there. Yeah. They are. Let me get to that for you real quickly while you're watching some sloppy play allegedly. They play the Steelers on October 26th. That would be their 7th game of the season.
Okay, it's going to be close, but I still feel good about my bold. That's not even going to be my bold-a-thon bold pick. That's just me just being me.
Yeah. So Malik Willis now becomes even more important. But you heard Gutey's answer to my bubble wrap question. So I don't see them now bubble wrapping their backup quarterback just because their starting quarterback hurt his thumb. I would.
I know
but
you
they
would.
can't, right?
I think it's really important now, especially with the chances, whatever market you want to look at, of Jordan Love starting the game. It's lower than what it was yesterday. I still do believe. I believe what Gutey said. I think everything is, if the surgery goes well, which I almost always you hear the surgery went well, he'll be on track to be back. But you have to have Malik Willis ready. Even, you had to have him ready anyways, but now even more so. So you have to let him go out and play. Now, I think you limit what you're going to do with him, but it's important for him to get work because this is the time of the year that these guys get all that work. And I just say, thank goodness that Malik Willis is here and that you feel this good, because if this was the case last year at this time and this happened and Malik Willis wasn't here yet, all of a sudden you're thinking, is Sean Clifford really going to lead us in? And the Packers last year obviously felt like absolutely not. Now you at least feel like you have a chance with Malik Willis leading your football team.
So you said something else that I'm even more intrigued by. And that is, as we saw last season when Love suffered the knee injury at the end of the game in Brazil, and then they play the next 2 games, their skill sets are not the same. Their play styles are not the same. When the Ravens had Snoop Huntley as their backup to Lamar Jackson, no one plays the game quite like Lamar Jackson, but they didn't have Joe Flacco, who's a vastly different type quarterback, backing up Lamar Jackson. What is the challenge of having a quarterback that has a different style? Like, you made it work last season. Let's not get this twisted. It worked great. They won all 3 games he played extended minutes in, all against AFC South opponents. What's the challenge for them to try and figure out, all right, we need him to be able to do more. We've had him for a year now. We need him to do more for our offense to function. We can't just go and say, oh, it worked last year against Indy and Tennessee and in the second half in Jacksonville. Let's just run the same stuff we ran with Malik last year. You were doing that out of necessity. So now how does that look if you're Steno, if you're Lafleur trying to conjure up, a plan B if for some reason Love has a setback after this procedure this morning?
Well, it's a lot easier this year. You now know a lot more about Malik Willis. Malik Willis knows a lot more of your offense, and it's not as if you're going to fundamentally change everything. You can't do that, but will you adjust some things? And as we saw last year, you pounded the football a lot more. Josh Jacobs had his record number of carries in that Tennessee game with 30-something, and you had Malik Willis running some other stuff. You had bootlegs, and the other side of that is it forces the opposing team to also prep a little bit differently. So it's not just, a negative on one side. It makes it more difficult on both. But this is going to be more of a case of you will tinker and put some special things in that Malik does really well. But this is Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur's offense. And Malik Willis, I thought, adjusted pretty well to that. And when you add those sprinklers in, you have maybe a little bit more dynamicity to your offense in the run game when you have somebody that is efficient in running the football and can do it. He bring your own blocker. He's his own guy. That changes the numbers when you start scheming things up offensively against the defense.
All right, we saw Malik Willis run some read option stuff in the preseason game. There are different things he can do, but I would follow up, Tausch, by saying this. He also has to do the stuff that Jordan Love does. right?
Yeah.
Like he has to be able to get that part. And it's not that he didn't do that. I keep thinking back to the throw he makes to Reed in Jacksonville to set up the game-winning field goal. Hold on. That's a big league throw. That's not, we have a running quarterback who occasionally can throw a check down. That's the kind of throw they need him to make. And they're going to need that throw in games, if it comes to that. And again, I don't want to make it sound like, oh my God, Jordan Love is going to miss the first 4 weeks. No one said that here. The expectation is he will be ready for September 7th against the Detroit Lions. He is highly unlikely to play in the final preseason game, Matt Lafleur said, which seems like a good idea to me. But it'll be interesting to see, just how they meld things together. One last thing on this, because and then we'll play trivia and I'll get ready for practice. My helicopterization led me to ask Love a question after the game on Saturday night. He takes the sack on his final snap. He kind of stepped up. He did kind of a jump cut. He's trying to make something happen. He gets spun around. He gets sacked. We didn't know then that was the play he suffered this thumb injury on. But I think I want you to listen to his response here, because I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all, because that's what football players do. They play football and they go with their instincts. But as it turned out, he put himself in harm's way, and now you've got a situation to deal with. Here's that exchange from Saturday night.
Jordan, the sack you took kind of got turned around a little bit. I had a little bit of a flashback to Brazil. But when you're in a game like this, you can't play not to get hurt, right? But you have to make sure that you're not putting yourself in peril in a game that doesn't count.
Definitely. I think that's, especially as a job of a quarterback, preseason, you don't want to be taking unnecessary hits. And, when you get into situations like that, we start moving around. It's like, all right, how do I get the ball to my hand or get down? So, I had a moment where I was trying to, step up, get out of there, and they kind of collapsed on me and was trying to move around. But, there was nothing really there. I don't think I had room to take off. So, one of those instances, just trying my best to get down right there.
Tausch, to me, this is the reality of, if you choose to play players, this kind of stuff happens. If you don't play them, this stuff can't happen, right? You can't expect Jordan Love to not play the position the way he plays the position. And that's basically what led to where we're at today, correct?
Yeah, it is. And you're going to put guys out there, they're going to play. And that's why I think you could kind of feel Gutey's unease with your question, because there is no right answer. The right answer is you play the results, and the results of this aren't great. But as I've said the whole time, you have to go out and play. You can't just expect to go out, roll your helmets out on September 7th and think that you're going to be, some crisp, efficient football team. That's just, football is tough, and you have to go out and actually do the job. And within those requirements, you can get hurt, and you can get hurt bad, and everybody knows that. So I for as much as we'd love to have everybody bubble wrap to do it, you do that, you're not gonna get conditioned into the position of being able to be at your best. And that's the hard part about this job, and it is the tricky balance that these guys have to deal with when it comes to preseason football. And that's why I've said they've tried to alleviate a little of that risk with these joint practices. But these joint practices, you can hit a hand on a helmet just as easily in a joint practice as you can in a game. It's just that you're not going to get taken to the ground. And that's why Green Bay, which I never thought would do a bunch of these, they've decided to do them because they felt that was the better structure for guys to get some work so that they're crisper when it comes to be regular season football.
And less likely for you can still bang your thumb on a helmet. It's still not out of the realm of possibility in a joint practice that can happen. I get it. But it is much more controlled of an environment than it is in a preseason game. All right, Jesse, do you want to play Trivia, or do you want to take some texts and calls while I head down to
I
practice?
feel like the Jordan Love thing is big. Look, no one wants to play pirate trivia more than me. You know that, but I think maybe
I'm not sure anybody wants to play it at all. Other than you.
There's some. I say let's wait on trivia. We'll do double trivia tomorrow. There's a lot of text rolling in on this that I'd like to get Tausch's thoughts on. So I think while you get set up at practice, we can do that.
All right, we will do that. Jesse and Tausch will go through the texts. I'll head down to practice, but before I do, I'll remind you that you need to tune in to Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks brings you exclusive access and untold stories about the greatest stars and moments in Bucks history. Go behind the scenes of Giannis's Emmy-nominated documentary, hear about the true origins of Bucks and Six, and more. Behind the Bucks can be found on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This August, guests at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison are diving into the sea in search of a treasure trove of cash. So come on by and seek your fortune. Starting at 6 p.m. on Saturday, August 30th, 24 winners will each select a cash prize of up to $5,000. Then at 9 p.m., one grand prize winner will swim away with $20,000 in cash. The treasure chest is full, so dive into the fun at
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right, and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Immediate live show streaming. A homepage customized just for you. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
If you're just doing this because you're starting to not believe the Packers are going to bring in a number 1 wide receiver.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
Who are the top guys?
And
Ops. That is the problem.
No, I totally agree.
You have never called Xavier McKinney the wrong name.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
It's the summer sales event at Metro Ford Madison, and the deals are still heating up. Drive home in a 2024 Ford F-150, Bronco Sport, or Mach-E with 0% APR for 48 months, $20.83 per $1,000 finance. But wait, there's more! Get a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on new vehicles and 90 days with no payments with approved credit. But hurry, these hot offers end September 2nd. Head to Metro Ford Madison today and visit MetroFordMadison.com.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
We're on the Packers.
There's a lot of guys that have shown they've belonged.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I don't know if they've shown that they have staying power and that they're really, really good.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Jesse and Tausch with you for the time being. Quite the view of the old T here at Camp Randall Stadium as you take in
my bad. Yeah,
Badger football practice. I mean, we're getting a great view of the underneath of the upper deck is what we're seeing on the video stream here. At least,
all right, good.
At least one person has texted and just put that awful looking picture of Tausch up. This video stream is doing nothing for him.
Really?
I thought that was kind of harsh when I saw that one on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line.
Probably fair, but I mean, is this any different than when I'm sitting I guess Everlight Solar Studios? It's nicer.
Yeah.
But this gives you a little taste. It gives you a little taste.
It's cool to see you out and about. And it's a 2-camp Tuesday as Jason goes to get situated in Green Bay while the Packers get underway with practice at Ray Nitschke Field. Tausch is at Camp Randall Stadium where the Badger football team is practicing this morning. 2-camp Tuesday on Wilde and Tausch. So we're holding it down while Jason goes to get situated. A couple of texts rolling in that I did want to share with you, Tausch. Of course, this comes from the breaking news this morning. Jordan Love undergoing a procedure on his non-throwing hand, a ligament thing, according to Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst about an hour ago. He shared that with the media, including Jason, who was in attendance. Not going to play against the Colts. Highly unlikely to play against the Seahawks in the preseason finale, but the expectation is that he will be back and good to go for Week 1 against the Lions. Text from Nick in Wanakee. 100% disagree with Jason. You can tell Jordan Love to play differently in preseason football. I was okay with Love playing on Saturday, but he should have been coached up not to get near anything closely resembling a sack. Quick handoffs, quick throws should have been all that we saw from him, from Nick in Wanakee. Tausch, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nick has a Pollyanna view of how you play. You can do quick throws and quick slants and screens and stuff like that, but you're out there, you're going to put him out there to play. You want him to, on a 3rd and 7 to do what he's going to do on 3rd and 7 in a game. This isn't just, let's just do this to check a box. You're doing it. You decided to do it. You're doing it to get that experience and those reps. So yes, I agree in certain respects that you can limit the dangers of having him do a bunch of 5 and 7 step drops. Yes, very fair. They didn't do that. But at some point you're going to do it. And you want to see, how is he going to react in the pocket? How does he take a hit? And when you decide to go about do that, you have to go play football. There's not I'm going to play differently. No, you scheme and you rep differently in the preseason. You're out there playing, you're playing. And if you're not, you're teaching yourself bad habits, and then you might as well not play. So I agree with Jason on this. Football players are going to go out there and do what they do. It's up to the coaches to scheme and to get it in position that they're going to do what you're hoping to get done in as limited of a dangerous fashion as the game of football allows.
Got another text here from Jerry in Brookfield on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. List is more at 844-770-3776. The Packers' backup quarterback, Malik Willis, is actually more exciting to watch play with a lot of possibilities. It's from Jerry in Brookfield.
So, I mean, I understand his point because he can, he's maybe a little bit more design run and you can do maybe a few more things, but I would disagree. I think Jordan Love can make throws that Malik Willis can't. I think when Jordan Love is healthy, we saw some of the things he could do. Malik Willis is a better runner on designed runs, no doubt. And if that is what you enjoy, all right, great. And that's what I think Green Bay, if Malik Willis has to play, they better utilize that skill set that he has. Matt Lafleur, I thought, did his finest job coaching. When you put a kid in 21 days in the whole blanket operation, and you were able to execute an offense and put up the points and wins that you did with him, I thought that was as good a job as Matt Lafleur has done in his entire time in Green Bay. He deserves a lot of attaboys. And if he has to do it again, I don't think any Packer fan should look at it and say, well, we don't have a chance. No, I think Malik Willis can win you football games, but let's not make any mistakes about it. Jordan Love is a much better quarterback than Malik Willis.
I was questioning whether I wanted to put this last one up here. There's a soft spot in my heart for people that go by Steve-O. There's a bar we go to frequently up north by our cabin that Steve-O is the owner of it. And every time we walk, hey, Steve-O! So this text is from Steve-O in SoCal, not the same guy as the bar up in Crivets. But here's what Steve-O says. It's long, I'll read it to you. Just remember that you studs, that's you and Jason he's referring to.
Ooh, I like that. That's nice of him to call us studs.
Just remember you studs pushed for Love to be paid like a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback when he hasn't shown anything except for a few games his fourth year in the system. I blame y'all and others like you that fell for this nonsensical idea that Love is a franchise quarterback. Not even close, and I'll be reminding you throughout this long losing season. From Steve in SoCal.
Oh, snap.
So, Steve-O, you have every right to feel that way. Listen, here's the deal. You believe in a guy, and you pay him or you don't. And for Jordan Love to have the season he did at the end of 23, he forced the Packers' hand. Yeah, it would be great. You keep dragging this thing out and just keep hoping and hoping. Jordan Love has led his team to the playoffs twice. I know it's a 7 seed, blah, blah, blah. Jordan Love is a really good quarterback. He's had some injury, a little bit unlucky in that regard. But is he Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow? No, I haven't said that. But is he Trevor Lawrence? Is he Jared Goff? Is he in that category? Absolutely is. And guess what, guys? Steve-O, this is the price of doing business. This is the price of doing business. And if you don't want to do it, go play in a different league. What are your other options, Steve-O? What are you going to do? No, seriously, Steve-O. Jordan Love ain't going to play for $25 million. So, okay, what are you going to do? Let him go? Wait, what is Steve-O's response to that?
I would guess that's his response is, let him walk and draft someone else or sign somebody else.
And ironically, everybody's freaking out today because Jordan Love might miss a game. He's going to miss some preseason. Everybody's freaking out because Jordan Love is a good quarterback. And is he a $55 million a year quarterback? We'll find out. We're going to find out. But this is the price of doing business in the big boy league. He did enough to earn the trust that the Packers organization needed to pay him. They didn't have a choice. You do that or you let him go. And if you let him go, I don't think any of these guys have a job. That's how I look at this. So I get it. You can be frustrated. He's hurt. You can be frustrated that he hasn't led us to a world championship yet. But what you can't do is say, this isn't the market. And this is what there would have been 24 plus teams that would have been more than happy to pay Jordan Love $55 million a year. There would have been. This is the NFL. This is the market. You can either deal with it or you can pout and you can say, you guys are idiots and you did this. Did we crown him early? Here's the deal. You didn't play. His contract is up and you have to make a decision. The Packers decided they're going to pay him. And we'll see how that all turns out. I am not remotely discouraged by the fact that Jordan Love is our starting quarterback. And if you are Steve-O, hey, go at it, man. Enjoy it.
Love you getting after Steve-O. And I have a feeling Steve-O may become a recurring character, sending us some text throughout the course of this year.
Listen, man, I love it when fans tell me how they feel. I'm not right all the time. I'm right a lot, but I'm not right all the time. And, for this to play out the way it has, I just asked Steve-O, what is the other option? You're going to go with Malik Willis and pay him? You're a starting quarterback in the NFL. Baker Mayfield is going to be wanting a new deal. He's at 30-some million. And he should be getting paid 55. He should be paid more than Jordan Love. So, yes, if you had the fortitude of paying Jordan Love before he started, and you paid him $30 million over a 4. Hey, kudos to y'all, but they didn't do that. They let it go. They let it play out. And you know what happened? Jordan Love played as good a football at the quarterback position the end of that season in the playoff run against the Cowboys in San Fran as anybody in the league. And when you do that, you pay him. Just ask the Ravens with Joey Flacco. This is how the NFL works.
Let's do one more quick one to let Jason have enough time to get situated up in Green Bay. This one just came in, but it's a good one for you. Tausch from Sean in Sun Prairie. As I've heard Tausch say before, all players play hurt. Rodgers and Favre did it all the time and won plenty of games. Why are we lowering expectations and not expecting Jordan Love to perform while hurt?
No, I am. I guess I don't want to mislead
maybe
you,
others
Sean.
aren't then.
No, I mean, I said earlier with Evco and with Jason, if he's out there playing, you're expecting him to play at a high level. And I expect him to be out there playing. I think he's tough. He's proven that he's tough. He's played with that. He came back earlier than what the knee injury diagnosis was last year. So, I mean, I think I'm not underselling anything. I think he'll be back. I think he's going to play against Detroit, and I think he needs to play well. And if that happens, I think we're all going to be incredibly excited. But to sit here and say that we're going to expect him to be 100%, I don't. But most quarterbacks aren't throughout most of the season.
All right, enough of Steve-O and everybody else on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. We'll hear from Jason up in Green Bay as the Packers are back at training camp practice this morning. Tausch is at
am
Camp
I crazy?
Randall State. Yeah.
I just got a text from someone I respect deeply, and he says, "Huh? 24 teams would pay Jordan Love $55 million a year?" Yeah. Now, if you factor in, I'm factoring in Burrow, and I'm just saying straight up, 24 of the 32 teams, they have Jordan Love as their starting quarterback, and he did what he did. I think 32 out of 32 are paying him that. Am I crazy?
Well, all right. So
maybe I'm nuts.
The Chiefs, no. The Bengals,
no. But I'm saying,
no.
Jesse, you're not understanding. I am saying wipe all that away. Jordan Love is your starting quarterback. He did for the Chiefs what Patrick Mahomes isn't with them. Every team has Jordan Love in that spot. How many teams are doing what the Packers did? Paid him.
Yeah, I'd say probably more than 24, honestly. Probably close to 26, 27.
I mean, maybe the Bengals would say that, and Dallas would obviously make him play it out 3 more years and then pay him $80 million. So, no. So I mean, maybe he acts like I'm crazy to say that. I don't think I'm crazy at all.
I don't think you're crazy to say that.
All right, it's good. Well, then there you go.
We'll hear what Jason thinks about that when he rejoins the show coming up here in a minute. He's up in Green Bay. Tausch is at Camp Randall Stadium where the Badgers are practicing. And I know in the field house there's a nice Jones Dairy section, kind of a sweet area there. We love Jones Dairy Farm out in Fort Atkinson. We were there a few weeks ago, and I know you love your Jones Dairy bacon.
We do. Jones Dairy Farm, family-owned, operated for 7 generations in Fort Atkinson, and it's been since 1889. Best known for their all-natural sausage made from that original family recipe, available in pork, chicken, and turkey. And you know what? Everybody wants to eat clean. You don't want additives. You don't want that. That's the beautiful part about Jones Dairy. Their stuff is clean and natural. Before it was even hip to be, that's what they did. The sausage is made with fresh meat only, no fillers, no nitrates, MSG, or gluten. They also make that great bacon that we had, Canadian bacon, Braunschweiger. They got everything. And check out our ESPN Madison and Milwaukee YouTube pages. I took my wonderful daughter, Eleanor, to lunch down there. Got her to eat some protein after all those battles with the protein muffins. So head on down, Jones Dairy Farm. Just a great Wisconsin business. One of the longest serving, 7 generations of people running that great business down at Jones Dairy Farm.
Jason rejoins in Green Bay. Tausch in Madison. 2 Camp Tuesday continues next on Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Try Helix Sleep's award-winning mattresses now at Steinhoffels, 20% off. Visit steinhoffels.com to learn more. Better sleep starts now.
A return for RBU, Wisconsin's 2025 running back room featuring a wide variety of talent. Veteran Cade Giacomelli primed for a good season. Tack on the young pair of Dylan Jones and Darian Dupree, 2 4-star recruits out of high school. Jones on the room's versatility.
I really say I'm excited because we all can do something special. You know, I'm good between the tackles. Cade do it all. Didi can do it all. And then I got to put Gid in there. He downhill, physical back, and that's something Coach Grant loves.
Wisconsin hosts Miami of Ohio Thursday, August 28th.
For long-lasting comfort and reliability, our craftsmen make it easy to trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 5 years at PellaWI.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paints you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
There's lots to see and do at the Dodge County Fair. Fun for me and you. There's good times in the air.
Get ready for Dodge County's biggest event this summer, the Dodge County Fair, happening August 13th through the 17th. 5 days of non-stop action with Badger State tractor pulls, demo derbies, and live music from Diamond Rio, Corey Kent, and 38 Special, all on the grandstand stage. Bring the family for pig, duck, and goat races, Nick's Kids Show, the Ready Go Dog Show, incredible exhibits, mouth-watering fair food, and much more. Grab season tickets now, just $35. Available at the fair office, Piggly Wiggly in Beaver Dam and Juneau, the market at Beaver Dam, Leroy Meats, most Dodge County banks, or online at DodgeCountyFairgrounds.com. Don't miss the fun, the Dodge County Fair, August 13th through the 17th.
Come on, everyone, to the Dodge County Fair.
We're on the Badgers.
Team's in a good spot, culture's in a really good spot.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
And now it's just about, hey, can you get back to that bowl game and hopefully get one or two of those marquee ones.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Wilde Tausch rolls on. Tausch at Camp Randall at Rainishke Field. No Jordan Love, in case you got up late and have not heard. The Green Bay Packers starting quarterback undergoing surgery this morning to repair a ligament thing, per Brian Gutekunst, in his left thumb. That is his throwing hand. They hope that he will be able to practice in some capacity next week. They believe he will be ready for the September 7th opener against the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field. Speaking of which, by the way, Gutey said absolutely they anticipate Xavier McKinney being ready for the opener. Now, again, absolutely is not always absolutely, as we've learned, but they feel good about him being back, and they feel good about Jordan Love being back as well. So all the conversation we've had this morning about this injury may just be in the theoretical realm in terms of how much it's going to affect him, but I still think it's probably going to affect him as he works his way back. But the recovery should be quick, and the hope is that he will be 100% for the opener. Tausch, I heard you jousting with Steve-O, although Steve-O wasn't there to discuss it with you. I've used this phrase a bunch when it comes to this, and I'll use it again. It's just the cost of doing business. This is what quarterbacks are getting paid now. And I don't think Steve-O is going to be proven necessarily wrong in his opinion about Love. I think he will be proven wrong, but I see a path where he's right about him. But again, the scenario, and you nailed it. And I just wanted to reinforce this because felt like you maybe needed a reinforcement or two. Not you personally, because you don't care, but from a wider audience perspective. Any team that was in the Packers situation that they were in with him pays him. Now, we can have a discussion about whether that half measure of a contract, instead of picking up the fifth-year option, when they had the opportunity to, was the right decision, right?
Yeah, but he
hadn't played.
He wasn't going to play on that fifth-year option either.
Yeah, again, at least you have a little bit. Well, if you're trying to negotiate with them, you have a little bit better of a hammer to wield, I would think, in that scenario. But you're right.
Well, not really, because they ended up giving him less, and he had another year on his deal. That I get what you're saying, but I think the crux of what Steve-O and what everybody else is looking at, and this is the cruel world of the NFL, and it's way too early, but I think there's some Packer fans that are saying, do we regret paying Jordan Love all this money? And I would answer vehemently no, for all the reasons I just mentioned. But, he was injured last year. He still put up a good season, but he didn't have the consistency. And now, it's already, you took 7 snaps or whatever it was, 9 snaps, and he's injured again. This is the tough part of this business. Most people aren't viewing it that way, but I do think there are some, and I think you can put Steve-O in that camp, that we shouldn't have paid him yet, even though that is how this works. He's not here if you don't pay him, and I don't know if anybody thinks this team's better if Jordan Love's not on it. If you do, I couldn't disagree with you more, but this is what it is.
It would appear that there are some in the fan base that think they'd be fine with Malik Willis. And I really like Malik Willis. I would not go as far as those folks clearly are willing to go. We'll talk more about Packers and Badgers practices as they roll on. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Mark Tauscher here, reminding you that from farm to table, there is no better product and no better taste than Grassland Dairy. Well, I think it's safe to say that Green Bay's run of quarterback success over the last 3 decades has been the best in all of football. But even more impressive than that, the outstanding run that Grassland Dairy has been serving up delicious taste and high-quality butter since 1904. That is 5 generations. Grassland's commitment to quality and excellence starts with the way farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of the process. They're proud to offer a wide range of reliable, delicious, nutritious dairy ingredients as they have for all these years. Butter better with better butter. There is no better product and no better taste than Grassland butter. Grassland Dairy, crafting butter for 5 generations. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Sports Center updates on 100.5 ESPN are brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison. Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. Tausch, you said something interesting. I mean, you say lots of interesting things, don't get me wrong. But you said something interesting during your Steve-O conversation as I was walking down to practice and listening along. And that was about playing hurt or playing through injury. You guys on the offensive line, you're always expected to do that, right? I mean, that is just part of the job. Marco playing without missing a game after he's torn his MCL, wearing a giant club cast on your hand. I mean, that's just what you guys do, right?
That's the goal, yep.
So, quarterback is obviously a different position than what you played. But now, you know, we've got Jordan Love, who had the knee injury, came back after only missing 2 games, and as I thought you correctly pointed out, he had required a level of toughness to go out there against the Vikings. He didn't play well. He threw 3 picks, but he was out there as sooner than maybe Doc McKenzie would have even wanted him out there, right? Then he has the groin injury, comes back and plays the next week. Left that game in Jacksonville, but plays. Had the elbow at the end of the regular season finale against Chicago that they lose at Lambeau Field. Now he's got this left thumb injury. He went through practice yesterday trying to see the functionality of it. So my question is, and I've said this before, and you heard me joke about, you know, how Favre was lauded for playing with a broken thumb, and everybody just looked at Rodgers and thought he sucked in 2022, playing through the same exact injury. What is the expectation for a quarterback in terms of, if you're out there, you're being judged? You've told us that for years and years and years, as we're in season number 10 of the show. But is it realistic to expect from that position the same level of play, whether you're healthy or not? Because we held Rodgers to that standard. He managed to do it with a torn calf in 14. He managed to do it with a tibial plateau fracture in 18. What should we expect from Jordan Love, not just with this injury, but with the folks like Steve-O, who are down on him for, you know, I think they view him as fragile.
Maybe a little bit. The deal is you're expected to help your team win. And I think you can look back at 2014 when Rodgers pulled his calf, and you had to do it a different way. And whether, you know, Jordan Love last year couldn't run and extend plays like he wanted to, you have to do it a different way. But if you're going to go out there and play, you have to have everybody's belief that you can function at a high enough level, regardless of the injury, that you're going to go out and execute. So, you know, if Jordan Love plays on Thursday night or on Sunday, on Sunday afternoon against the Detroit Lions, he's going to be expected. He needs to go out and execute and play. Now, is he going to be running, and is he going to be as maybe carefree as you normally would. You have to find out what formula works for you to go out there and get the job done. So it's tough to say and to, think, well, just like Kenny Clark last year, people were down on Kenny. And you find out later that Kenny was dinged up. Let me tell you something. Nobody cares. It's the cold, hard reality. I think the players appreciate, the coaches appreciate, but you're judged based off of your productivity and how well you execute. And if you don't and can't do that, you're going to get replaced or you're going to be criticized in a big manner. So for whatever ends up happening with Jordan and how this shakes out, he's going to be judged by, does his team win the football game? And did he do what he needed to do to win? And if he has to do things differently and more limited, great. But there's not going to be, people can use those as excuses. Well, like last year, I think a lot of people have put some of the inconsistency and some of the turnovers on the fact that he was not healthy. Great, that's fine, but that doesn't mean anybody, people don't feel as strongly about Jordan Love this offseason as they did last because he wasn't as consistent, and he wasn't as consistent because he had some of those injuries. But again, nobody cares. That's the tough part about this job.
So, given the criticism then that Jair Alexander received, especially last year, right, for not playing through his injuries in the estimation of some fans and maybe even some people that work in the building, are you damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? Because if you say, look, I'm not healthy enough to play at the level that I need to play at, then you're viewed as not willing to play through injury. And if you do play and you don't play well, then you're criticized for not playing well, despite the injury, and the injury doesn't really matter. I'm just wondering if from a player's perspective, you can't be worried about the outside noise. You always say that, but you told us, even if you don't read it yourself, your family does, and they mention it to you, right? And so, what's? And I'm not looking to hold a telethon for the poor NFL players that get criticized, whether they play through injury and don't play well, or don't play through injury and sit out. But it does feel like in a league where the injury rate is 100%. It really is a tough spot to try and negotiate. Am I wrong to view it that way?
It is, and I think that's why there's sometimes you end up actually doing your players a disservice by not just ruling them out or saying, hey, they're going to be out 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Because there's that, I think everybody just assumes that you can get out there and play. And if you can function at all, you go out there. But you have to understand, it's one thing to be able to function. It's another thing to be able to function and actually go out and do the job against the best in the world. And that's where things get caught up a little bit. So I thought clarity and communication was lacking in both the David Bakhtiari and Jair stories. And I don't think it helped either side. I mean, it definitely hurt the players, I think, on both sides of it. And that's why when David just came out and told us what happened, the story got kind of shut down. He went and finished, he got injured and IR, and that was the end of it. So I think players, you get a little attaboy when you can fight through some things. But if you struggle and or in Jair's case, when it was in the Chicago game, when you only go out and play 4 or 5 snaps, and then you kind of leave your roster hanging, it actually ends up being more of a negative. So yes, guys want to play, but I think you have to be very smart, and that's where that trust factor comes in from a training staff, a doc, and the player to say, yeah, I can get this done, or you know what, I don't know if I can. And there's going to be fans that criticize you if you don't go out and play. That's for sure. But you just have to trust your body, and you have to trust, what is best for both you and the football team. And that's why coaches sometimes have to take that decision out of the players' hands.
In your, that's a great answer, by the way. Thank you. In your experience in your room specifically, though, it wasn't like Campy or Bechtel were grading you on a curve, right? I mean, the expectation was still there for you guys, and you guys just didn't care. You were just doing. For you, the level of pride was off the charts, and the times that say you missed games or Marco missed games, it had to be a limb is falling off of this stuff. Because otherwise, you weren't going to let your guys down, and you felt like you also probably felt like you were a far better option than the guy behind you, even if you weren't at 100%. Is that true?
Well, you have to feel that way, whether or not that's accurate. I mean, there were games. I sprained my ankle in a big way on a Sunday, and then we played a Thursday game in Detroit, and I should not have played. I mean, I'm hobbling around, and I competed. I got through 3 quarters. We pulled ahead, and I basically was like, I'm good. I can't, because you fight through things, but then there's also the realization when you're out there that I'm not functioning the way I should when I'm out there playing. So, no, to answer your first question, you're not graded any differently. I think there's an understanding, like this is unusual for Marco or for me or for someone to maybe not execute this. And they're like, well, he's on one leg. Well, we appreciate your effort, but if you're struggling and not being able to finish and do the job, you shouldn't be out there. And that's a hard thing to recognize. And that is why coaches and docs have to, again, if guys are at all close and feel like they can, they're going to go try. But trying is not good enough when you're talking about these situations. You have to execute.
Well, raise a Coors Light to all the guys that play through injury, because they do deserve that respect, whether or not they're on top of their games or not. And we'll see where Jordan Love is at when he returns. Again, the surgery was happening this morning, so hopefully he's in recovery and gets some ice cream or whatever they give you, a Jell-O. But the Coors Lights will be waiting in cold for him when he's back.
Well, whether you're tailgating pregame or enjoying your experience during the game, celebrating a big win after the game, or just need a moment to chill, crack open that Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light, brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it is made to chill. Make sure those mountains are blue on those big, beautiful 16-ounce silver bullets. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company at Golden, Colorado.
More from practice next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Grassland Butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Bruner Realty and ESPN Madison have teamed up again for the 5th annual Putts for Pups golf outing, benefiting the Dane County Humane Society. Join us for a day of golf at Blackhawk Country Club on September 19th. Since it started in 2021, Putts for Pups has raised over $120,000 for the Dane County Humane Society. Donate or find out how you can get involved at putsforpups.com. Putts for Pups is proudly sponsored by Badgerland Exteriors, Alts Operations, Zimbrick Automotive, and Vortex Optics.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, That's all.
Football is back, and Forward Madison FC is celebrating Green and Gold Night on August 16th, featuring Green Bay Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher Amon Green. Get a green and gold Forward Madison jersey, match ticket, and more with 3 ticket pack options available. It's Forward Madison FC versus FC Naples at 7 p.m. Saturday, August 16th. Visit forwardmadisonfc.com to purchase your green and gold ticket packs today. That's forwardmadisonfc.com.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Breaking news. Jordan Love is undergoing thumb surgery today. Reaction continues next, right here on 100.5 ESPN. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is brought to you by the Metro family of dealers.
Call you up in the middle of the night, like a firefly without a light. You were there like a blowtorch burning. I was a key that could use a little turning. So tired that I couldn't even sleep. So many secrets I couldn't keep. I promised myself I wouldn't.
So, Savion Williams with a couple of good moments during practice here. Now, he's been in and out of the lineup. He had the off-season shoulder surgery after he got done at TCU, and he had a concussion early in camp during the theoretical non-contact portion of the program. But he flashes, Tausch. I'm not going to say he's had every time I'm here, I'm seeing some sort of wow thing from him. But when you look at where they're at in terms of wide receiver, and we talked with Gutey a little bit about this as well, and I asked Lafleur at the end about getting these guys on the same page without Love and without, Reed's still walking around in his boot here at practice. Wicks still isn't practicing. Obviously, Watson is on the PUP list. There is some opportunity for a group that we looked at and said, oh my gosh, they got 9 guys that seem deserving of a roster spot at wide receiver. And then they moved 1 to corner. They got 3 of them that are hurt. Suddenly now you're not quite as deep there, but there's opportunity here, right? I've talked about Cornelius Williams, the kid from Michigan, that you called some of his matchups with the Badgers. Savion Williams, who's a 3rd-round pick. How much of an opportunity, and how do you feel? We know Matthew Golden has looked the part. I've talked about it almost every day. But how do you feel if you're, because you've been there, you've been that guy that's trying not to count the reps. Well, now you're getting more reps. How are you feeling about the rest of this wide receiver group with the opportunities that are available to them?
All you can ever hope for is to get, reps and chances in with Watson out and Reed out and Wicks out. I think we all kind of looked at this as, well, it's going to be really tough, right? And Will Melton moves. You're all of a sudden going to get a ton of opportunities, even if it's just to make the practice squad or, as coaches would always tell you, you're not just recruited. You're not just being looked at by us. You have 31 other teams that you're talking about. So this is, for these guys, you always hope, and you never hope for guys to get injured, but you hope that you are able to get some cracks at showcasing your talents. And then, the coaches maybe see something like, wow, there's guys that have looked at probably being 12th or 11th or 12th on the depth chart when you open camp in July 23rd, and all of a sudden a guy gets hurt, somebody gets released, somebody goes to DB, and all of a sudden now, I'm running with the 3s. I'm running with the 2s. Oh, boy, he looks good at this. He's handling his business. Let's give him more opportunities. So do I think any of these guys are going to be opening day rep guys? No. But do I think that this opens the door for them to show that they can be on the practice squad and be hanging around when injuries come up? Absolutely. And that's all that you're hoping for as a late pick
undrafted free agent, journeyman type player is just give me a crack at it and let me get my chance. And when you do, be ready for it. And if that's the case, that's what these guys are trying to do.
So the ones are going against the ones now. Again, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Malik Heath are the first three up there at wide receiver. I'm looking at from the back end with the defense, and they've got, right now with X out and with Nate Hobbs out, they've got Bullard and Evan Williams at safety. They're in the base, so it's Isaiah McDuffie, Isaiah McDuffie, Quay Walker, and Edgerrin Cooper. They've got Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine as the outside corners. The defensive ends are Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary, and the inside guys are Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt. If that's their opening day defense, and you just insert X and you make Bullard the nickel again, how good do you feel about where this defense is on opening day? That would be without Hobbs. Hobbs would be the only preferred starter you wouldn't have.
No, I would feel fine with that. And obviously you get Hobbs back at some point to add a little depth. Again, it all sounds great on paper. I would have liked to have seen more that opening night. But again, it's preseason. I just think that this group, with a year of experience and understanding what they're doing, I'm sure, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I was breaking this film down exclusively. I'm sure they were not showing a ton of stuff. They're going to be a lot more multiple. They're going to have a lot more options of handling their business than what we saw last year. This is because of the comfort level. But I think this defense is, in a position to be much better than what it was last year. And that really stems from the development of the pass rushing and the new coach. There's a lot of reasons for that, and that's more hope than anything else. But that is what I think you look for with the second year of a defensive coordinator, that guys take another step. Jesse, you're our fantasy guru, right? You got the fantasy draft coming up.
You think I'm a guru?
Well, you took second place last year.
I did in our league, yeah. Might say more about the rest of our league, though.
I watched some of the unsportsmanlike this morning. And ESPN's doing their big fantasy draft. They're pushing, I think they have their draft tonight with Schefter and all the ESPN personalities. And I was looking through the wide receiving core. Who was going to be the top pick? You had CeeDee Lamb, you had Jamar Chase, you had a bunch of guys.
Some of the usuals.
Jettis.
There is nobody from the G&G, I think, until the low 30s, maybe even 40s.
Why would there be?
And I'm thinking right now, if I had to pick one guy, I think I'm going Golden. I think I'm taking Matthew Golden as if I can only pick one Packer.
Wow.
And it's whatever pick that ends up being. I can only have one wide receiver. That's why I take.
Only one wide receiver. Not like you would pick Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft would be my
Packer,
first.
right?
Yeah. But I'm saying, I only get to pick one wideout out of this group, this mishmash.
So
Matthew Golden's who I'm picking.
If you're talking about this through a fantasy football lens, I finished in second in our league. I did win my other league last year. That was in with Tier 1 Tyler. So I guess
guy.
Maybe I am
Resume
a guru.
guy.
If you're looking at it fantasy-wise, if you take Romeo Dobbs because he may be the most consistent, you might not play him much because he's probably not going to put up the same numbers as other receivers you would take earlier in the draft that'll be on your team outside of bye weeks or injuries or whatever. So Golden, I think if you're drafting Golden, you're thinking by the end of the season he'll have so much upside and potential that he's going to be putting up better numbers than Dobbs at some point. So that would be like the strategy behind that pick. Is that what you're saying, Tausch?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Jason?
Well, you are a guru. Yeah, I mean, I'm an absentee owner for our fantasy league. We let our football people, meaning you, handle that.
Are you the Russ Ball of our fantasy team?
I do all the negotiating. Or maybe I'm Mark Murphy. Mark Murphy, allegedly, jokingly, just chose Matthew Golden, even though Gutey had sent in a different card.
Apparently they like green and gold.
Devontae Adams last year for you, and that he had a good year, but probably not worthy of our first pick. I'm not a fantasy guru like you are. I'll be very curious in our league, and then I'd be even more curious if like ESPN Chicago or ESPN West Palm or ESPN LA or New York do their own fantasy events with their fans, because where exactly we got a fumble. Where exactly do non-Packers fans view Packers wide receivers for this purpose? Like, where do you draft them? Like, the Packers had a pretty good passing game statistically last year, right? I mean, they ran it more than they threw it, and it was skewed a little bit by the games that Malik Willis started, but they still, Jordan Love was productive, right? What do you have, 28 touchdowns, 25 touchdowns? You obviously would like him to have more, and if he played 2.5, 3 more games, he probably would have. I guess my question is, how do you think the rest of the fantasy realm views what the Packers have a wide receiver? Because I feel like it's kind of like when they had like Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones at running back. He didn't really, until Aaron Jones finally put his foot down and said, I'm going to be the guy that gets 1,000 yards a season. You didn't really want to pick either one. They're both good, but they were sharing the job. And there's a huge job sharing arrangement when everyone's healthy here, isn't there? At that position?
No, Josh, this is easy. Josh Jacobs is by far and away the guy you want as a Green Bay Packer in fantasy, and I don't think there's anybody else close. That's how
Not even Tucker Kraft.
No, Tucker would be fine. I think Tucker, I would like to have Tucker on my team, but I think he's probably viewed as a, 8 or 9 tight end right now. I think he could provide
and
great
the wide
value
receivers
for you.
Are like
There's none
way
out.
down.
Yes, that's why I kind of brought it up, because it was so low. And Jaden Reed was the first guy. It tells you, and I don't do the team one anymore. I don't think maybe we'll rekindle it, but I would think Green Bay would be a late second, early third at best team picked. Like they would be in that 16, 17 slot from a team standpoint, because the only surefire guy you have is Josh Jacobs. Everything else is kind of a coin toss.
I know that's bad for fantasy football owners. Is that good for a football team?
We'll find out. We'll find out
what Jesse's got queued up for Whoa Nelly next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
What's in your summer survival kit? Mark Tauscher here, and I'll tell you what should be. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and for just $12.99, a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut. For a limited time, choose from 4 loaded legends, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the spicy Hawaiian for just $12.99. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. A perfect summer go-to order. Order up before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. And remember, nobody the Hut. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car, better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat.
You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
There's lots to see and do at the Dodge County Fair. Fun for me and you. There's good times in the air.
Get ready for Dodge County's biggest event this summer, the Dodge County Fair, happening August 13th through the 17th. 5 days of nonstop action with Badger State tractor pulls, demo derbies, and live music from Diamond Rio, Corey Kent, and 38 Special, all on the grandstand stage. Bring the family for pig, duck, and goat races, Nick's Kids Show, the Ready Go Dog Show, incredible exhibits, mouth-watering fair food, and much more. Grab season tickets now, just $35. Available at the fair office, Piggly Wiggly in Beaver Dam and Juneau, the market at Beaver Dam, Leroy Meats, most Dodge County banks, or online at DodgeCountyFairgrounds.com. Don't miss the fun, the Dodge County Fair, August 13th through the 17th.
Come on, everyone, to the Dodge County Fair.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Jordan Love is getting surgery.
Jordan is having a little procedure done on his left thumb that he hurt in the game. We'll put him out a little bit of a while.
Is Jordan Love's Week 1 status up in the air? React with us right here on 100.5 ESPN.
All right. Yeah.
It is only one play, and he did throw an interception earlier, but a absolute rope from Malik Willis to Matthew Golden on a crossing route to pick up the third down at the end of a team drill with the number ones. The number two's in there now, but Tyron Hopper was close to picking it off, but Malik Willis getting it through the tiniest of windows. Not a bad thing to do when you've been put in the position he's been today. Fewer interceptions, more throws like that would be good. Time now for Won't Ellie.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde Tausch.
Jason, you're not on the video stream right now because you are in Green Bay as the Packers practice at training camp practice. Tausch is resituating. We see the sky. It's very overcast sky in downtown Madison this morning. Are you at like midfield now of Camp Randall? Where are you?
No, I went down to the field level because practice has ended.
Ah, okay. Well, you were in Section T earlier, which was very appropriate.
I was. Yeah. For old T.
Old T or new T?
We didn't hear much from you at practice today, Tausch. Any observations worth sharing with the public here on a 2-camp Tuesday?
No. Nope, I don't.
All right.
Whoa, Nelly!
I'll say this: it was a good day for it was a good day for the defense today. How's that?
Sure. Okay.
Whoa, Nelly!
I'm having flashbacks to mid-June in the minicamp for some of us that were roundly criticized for not having any information from practice.
Tausch, you are not a voter in the Associated Press AP college football rankings, are you? You're not an AP member?
No, I am
Okay. I have a gripe with the AP poll. They do the preseason poll, and I've been of the belief for about a decade plus now, preseason polls are dumb. We have a preseason poll out from the AP yesterday. The Ohio State Buckeyes are number 3 in the AP rankings. The Texas Longhorns are your number 1 in the preseason AP poll. If you're ranking teams who haven't played yet, then how can the number 1 team be an underdog to the number 3 team when they play each other in the first week of the season?
Oh, where do they play the game at? It's at Ohio State.
It's at Ohio State. But if you're saying they haven't done anything yet,
that's the answer.
Texas is the better team. Texas should be favored to win the game. If they're not the better team, don't rank them ahead of Ohio State. That doesn't make any sense.
It does make
Jesse,
sense.
these are
Home field
individual
advantage
voters.
matters. Jesse, home field advantage matters. And you could look at this, the preseason, it's all about projecting and talent, and Arch Manning is going to get some extra love. Ohio State doesn't know who their quarterback is. So home field advantage matters. In college football, it probably matters even more. That's why you have the conundrum that you're in. So I don't know what you don't understand about that. It's pretty simple.
It seems like a flawed process. If a team that is ranked ahead of another one without having played, if you've played games yet and there's something that you can say like, this is what they've done. I am of the belief, I assert, I'm going to fix the solution or present a solution to the problem. By
Bowl games in the fall.
Bowl games to start the season is still a great idea, and I hope everyone gets on board with it at some point.
Never happened.
Since we're not there, even though half the games are bowl games because they're neutral site games that teams agree to anyway.
Huh?
I assert no rankings until the first week of October. Everybody's got to put 4 games on the resume at least before we start to rank the teams. And then you can say, oh, Wisconsin, like Miami, Ohio went and played number 22 Wisconsin, and now Wisconsin beat Alabama, and they're up to number 9. Like, that's a better win for Miami, Ohio. Like,
nope.
It creates better content. Like, Wisconsin beat number 5 LSU at Lambeau Field to start the year almost a decade ago now. That LSU team fired their coach before the end of the season, and they weren't ranked, and they barely made a bowl game.
Okay, so you also would say no power rankings until week 4 of the NFL?
No, power rankings are not a metric.
No, it's literally the exact same. It's the exact same.
No, the NFL doesn't.
No, it is.
No, it's not, Tausch. The NFL doesn't.
But it is.
The NFL doesn't value the resumes of the teams and rank them at the end of the season based on their accomplishments to create a postseason format. They don't do this with the
polls in August either. They start doing the polls in November, which is way beyond your 4 weeks. So, Jesse, here's a little something. You've been in the media for a long time. The media drives the bus with coverage, and these sports want their sport talked about 12 months a year. So you're going to say, don't give us polls. Don't give us any idea on what we should be looking at. Don't give any storylines because we don't know. Let's let them develop for 4 weeks. You're going to go out of business running a business that way. This is a business. And they're promoting and they're getting conversation. They're saying, can you believe Wisconsin is 12th in the Big Ten? That's where their preseason ranking. Or the Greg Gard storyline every year. I had us 10th and we're in first place. That's the stuff that people like talking about. So instead, you're going to tell me no conversation about the Big Ten, no conversation about college football until week 4.
I'm not saying
that doesn't make any sense.
I'm not saying no conversation, but if we really want to dive further, the AP poll is pretty obsolete at this point because there's a college football playoff committee that does its own rankings starting in late October. Like, the AP poll means as much as the WSUM student radio poll at UW-Madison. Like, we should just use those rankings.
You just said it matters, though.
It matters.
You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth.
No, if the college football playoff committee wants to use their rankings at the end, they say we don't rank teams until late October to get numbers on paper. Great. I'm all for that. I think you can start it at the beginning of October. They choose to do it a little bit later. That's okay. But the AP poll, like the preseason AP poll, doesn't mean diddly. And if anyone is considering it, then it shouldn't.
So why are you mad about it then?
Yeah.
Can I help? What are you mad about?
Can I help you with this, Jesse?
Sure.
You have to just take it for what it is, especially in current landscape of college athletics with the transfer portal. And that is, it's guesswork. Don't take it seriously. And the rankings don't really, to your point, they don't matter. They don't influence the college football playoff rankings. They don't influence. All they influence is what we talk about and motivate some teams that are feeling disrespected and put a target on the back of some teams that are perennial contenders, right? Like, look, I don't know how good Ohio State is. If they didn't have Ohio State on their jersey, let's say they were Ohio U instead and had the exact same roster and the exact same players. But because it's Ohio U, I'm not so sure that they're great, right? But because it's Ohio State, we just sort of assume, hey, it's Ohio State. They've got their war chest of NIL money. They won the national title last year. They're going to be good again this year. How good? I don't know. But remember, too, there's a ton of AP voters, and they all vote themselves. So what you're getting is a compilation. I'm guessing there were plenty of people that voted Ohio State number one. Don't you? Do you have it in front of you?
I don't have it in front. I don't have it in front of me. I can find it.
This feels to me like it's all fake outrage for me.
Full
if
outrage.
I'm being honest.
Exactly what I was going to say.
It's all fake outrage. What are you really outraged about?
Yeah.
When do you and Semaral put those high school polls out? Can I hear your preseason?
Came out yesterday. The Muskego Warriors number one in the large division preseason rankings.
But you feel great about that. Interesting. How many games have they played?
Whoa, Nelly! Oh.
Hypocrisy much?
I don't often leave a segment feeling like I lost, but I do feel like I just lost.
No, you didn't lose. This was bludgeon city. This was Michael Spinks. This wasn't even Tyson. You didn't even get in a ring.
It was not. It was not fake outrage. I do think it's still preposterous that the number 3 team is favored over the number 1 team when they haven't played a game yet. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But
well, Jesse,
you've made your argument, and I feel like you win and I lose.
Okay, well, I don't know why you've been in Beaver Dam. You've been in all the markets. You have to promote, and you want to have people excited about what you're doing with your sport. And you have to have that. All of a sudden, it's real sexy. You have a 2-3 matchup or a 1-3 matchup, whatever it is, coming up. That's awesome, and that's going to draw. People are going to be interested anyways, but it's even more so because of those rankings. And it doesn't hurt anybody. Well, who's it hurting?
Wisconsin. They're not ranked.
No, I'm trying to tell you that helps. We're underdogs. We're nobody's underdog, but we're underdogs.
If everybody was unranked, then maybe we'd feel, we're right on par with everybody. Let's see what we do in the first 4 games. Hang tight with Alabama. We got a chance.
Jesse, if there was no poll, no preseason poll, would you feel better about the Badgers?
You wouldn't.
Would you really?
No,
you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
It wouldn't influence your feeling about them at all.
I wouldn't feel like we were not in a club that didn't mean anything.
What does that mean?
Like there's a club of Illinois is in the club, Indiana's in the club, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Washington.
All of whom were better than them last year. You're proving
they're all in the club.
Let me tell you something. Washington ain't in no club.
They're in the club.
Okay, whatever club they're in, we want to be in a better club. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Wow.
So don't put Washington in that club. That's one of those
the UW club.
It's one of those 12-5 clubs, not the 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. club. That's the old blue hair club, Washington.
All right, that's all.
How'd that go for you?
Not my best, Nelly, I'd say.
That's not how you envisioned it going, I'm going to guess.
Saving my good stuff for Jim, Matt, and Molly this afternoon from 4 to 6 is 2-a-days for old Jesse continue.
Why don't you let Tier 1 Tyler write up your Whoa Nellies for tomorrow, too?
Oh, boy.
That was not your best. Tier 1 Tyler, I know you're listening. Give him some options so that he doesn't get bludgeoned again tomorrow.
I think we need to give Jesse a chance to rebound. It's important to
Okay.
to get back up on the horse. Let's.
How you
if it goes
react,
poorly, if it goes poorly tomorrow, we'll have somebody else handle it on Thursday. That's it for Won't Ellie. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Get your team ready for the courts this fall. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's adult fall volleyball and basketball leagues are now open. Men, women's, and all gender leagues now forming for play beginning in early October at locations all around Madison. Early October, that seems so far away. It's going to sneak up on you before you know it. Get your team signed up right now for play beginning in early October. And again, those locations are all around Madison. You can find the one that's most convenient for you. MSCR adult volleyball and basketball leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. For more information and to register today, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. A return for RBU, Wisconsin's 2025 running back room featuring a wide variety of talent. Veteran Cade Yakimelli primed for a good season. Tack on the young pair of Dylan Jones and Darian Dupree, two 4-star recruits out of high school. Jones on the room's versatility.
I really say I'm excited because we all can do something special. Now I'm good between the tackles. Cade do it all. Didi can do it all. And then I got to put Gid in there. He downhill, physical back. And that's something Coach Grant loves.
Wisconsin hosts Miami of Ohio Thursday, August 28th.
For long-lasting comfort and reliability, our craftsmen make it easy to trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 5 years at PellaWI.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Meet Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here with a refreshing offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. My new friend Chris from Oostburg is one of their skilled installers who demos your existing bath or shower, removes it, and disposes it before installing your brand new dream shower. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
When it comes to your health, do you want to buy something online or do you want to meet with someone local? A local doctor with a family-owned business that cares about you. That's right, you want to meet with Nestor Rodriguez and Ashley Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. You have questions about cryotherapy, red light therapy, hormone replacement treatments, GLP-1s, or you just want to have a great workout. Carbon World Health is there for you. They have a new location in Sun Prairie and they have their original location in Madison. So when it comes to your health, there's nowhere better to go than Carbon World Health in Madison and now in Sun Prairie.
Wilde Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Every day is like a blank canvas. You know you can paint it any way
All right, before we go, Tausch, I don't want my trip to the locker room to go as poorly as Wo Nelly did for Jesse. I will not be asking a series of questions about the Gaelic footballer.
Why not?
Well, because I already talked to him. But what's the move the story ahead? Is this talking to wide receivers and the challenge of getting to where you need to be with Jordan Love, with the time they're missing? What's the next conversation now that we've spent so much time on Jordan Love's thumb injury?
No, to me, this is all about Malik Willis and what his plan is, how that goes, and how much he's going to play. Like, that, to me, is going to be the next story until Jordan Love is back out practicing and he's going to be playing. I think this is all about Malik Willis.
Yeah, I agree. That'll be a story as well. I'm very curious to see if the timeline, because we know optimistic timelines, everyone's optimistic, right? It's always, he'll be back for this. He'll be back for this. You just never know. And hopefully that's the case. And Jordan Love is ready for week 1 and he's no worse for wear. But we'll have to wait and see. And we will talk to Malik Willis after practice, which still has about 20, 30 minutes to go. All right, that's it for us today. We will be back tomorrow. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN